to America, to all over the world, every man, woman, boy, and girl. It's another edition of the Troy Graham Experience. Yes, sir. Actually, it's episode 8. It's episode 18. I mean, not episode 8, episode 18, right? And look who stepped in the room. One of the kings is here. Another one, Mr. Troy Ali. How you doing there, brother?
Girl.
Doing good?
Yeah, man. Holding down solid food.
Good, good. I heard you were sick, man. You said you texted me, said you were feeling well. Feeling better, hopefully.
Yeah, man. I'm better. I'm better today. You know.
Okay. Because, I thought you were going around doing some counseling for all these dudes that are still crying over Arrow, man.
Man, they need to get over that shit.
Because I seen a picture of him and his wife chilling on vacation, so he's all right with it.
Oh, yeah, he's good. And he looks good.
Sir, he looks good.
He looks real good.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Like, I guess when you bet your mortgage money and your rent money and your condo, you're really not crying over the
Yeah, right.
you're not
You
crying over
know?
the loss. Yeah.
Nah, you ain't kind of with that loss at all. You just,
No,
you either
because if you're an
regroup.
experienced boxer, you basically bet on both men.
Look, they don't know that side of the aspect of when you're not sure. And it's a 50-50. You bet on both, so therefore you're not losing. You're gonna win big, or you're gonna make out even.
That's
But
good to hear
can't
your
tell
voice,
everybody
man.
everything.
Sir, but I don't know if you saw the thumbnail, man. I put it up there as Crawford looking like he's sitting on his throne, and four names are above his head. One of
Let me
them
tell
is,
you. Yeah,
huh?
go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
one of them is Spence, of course, and
Mm-hmm.
then there's Costa Zoo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then there's Boots, and then there's your boy Charlo, aka Gusto from CB40. Tell me, you did you see that meme?
Yeah, man, that shit ain't right.
Yeah, but it looked just like him. If Charlie Murphy had a son, sons, now you know what they look like grown up.
Hey, you don't know if technically it ain't Charlie Griffin. It's
Charlie
all the
Murphy.
way uh, Charlie Griffin, like
Well,
no couch.
well, I tell you what, man. If they ever do a remake of Harlem Nights, man, we all know who can play Charlie Murphy's character.
Hey, let me tell you, man, he's so damn he's so damn bipolar that he wouldn't even think that was funny. That was some funny shit. He'd be like, "What
It
you
was
trying to
funny.
say? What you trying to say?" Man, I mean, he a cool dude, man. He just need to relax, man. He's like one of them type. I don't know, man. Like he's just, and then like I don't know if you've seen the round table they had recently with Rougarou and
No, I did not.
yeah, it was a round table with who was that? Who's the basketball player that has a show? Uh, not Shannon Sharp. No, it's football. Uh, shit. He like the dude that he had a Showtime show on Showtime with another basketball player, light skinned dude. I want to say his name, but I don't want to be wrong. Uh, he played you know what I'm talking about, man. The basketball dude that does all the fights, man. I done met him like 4 times. Uh,
I don't.
anyway, long story short, he had a round table with both twins and Rougarou and with somebody else there, another killer. Um, and they were just talking and everything, and it was pretty interesting. Google it when we get off of here, cause yeah, man, it was interesting, very interesting. But
Well,
you can see Charlo, the 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 bigger of the two, man, his mind is just not there at all. He's really like, you know, he gonna get back, but right now he don't need to be in the ring at all.
it sounds like his woman devastated him.
Yeah, man, she, know, yeah, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. You know, I mean, he got that look on his face like he just keep hearing like Aaron Hall, like I miss you in his damn ear when he need to be
Or,
listening to Nas, Bye Bye Baby, just let it go. And human
or worse,
efficiency, bro.
or worse yet, you listen to Boys to Men. Although we've come
Yeah,
to,
yeah,
yeah.
because that brother is sad. And then it's like, he'll come out of it for a second, then he go right back into it. And it's like,
Uh,
it's sad to see that, man, because like, I don't care who it is in this world, right? Like,
right.
if you go through that one time, okay, cool, you learn from it and you keep it moving. But if you don't, if you're smart and you think about this, right? You always love yourself, right? You know what I'm saying? You love yourself. You love your significant other, right? But you always got to root for yourself because you never know what these females have on their mind when they when they okay, put it this way. If you got a woman that will do the same exact thing for you that you do for her, okay, you got to keep her. But if you got a woman that moans and complains and you're living in like this $10 million house and all of this and all of that, it's like, okay, we got an issue. So let's try to take care of these things. I mean, they was together for a long time. So I think it's one of them things where, it's just the relationship is just, it's just, the plane went out or something. And he just don't know what to do. But, I wish him the best.
Well, I tell you what, brother. How about this? We all know that there's going to be a well, there's talks of a rematch at 154, right?
Oh yeah.
You being in the business of boxing, let's start off with the obvious, which is Spence. What can Derek Dames teach him to do different this time around at a higher weight class? We can open that door.
Okay. That's a good question. Well, what Derek James should teach him is to have more lateral movement, move his feet more, and to not be such an open target because basically um, you gotta adjust to your situation. So he needs to teach him to adjust to his situations better instead of just going forward and try to be the bully because one day you're gonna run across somebody that's gonna stand up and he ran
And he
across
did.
him and he did. And so he had no plan B because his plan A was I'm just gonna run through him. But what he didn't realize is that, Crawford is a pure athlete, and he was actually the bigger, stronger man that night. And he went for his heart, man, and he wasn't ready. And but like I said, honestly, Derek James is a great coach and everything, but he's not my top five at all. You know,
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Is it possible that in a short amount of time, they talk about fighting in January, right?
hmm
Can he be taught to work behind his jab and work his way in and look for Crawford's weaknesses? Can he be turned into a boxer by that time,
well, he's already a boxer.
or higher level
Um,
boxer?
well, he 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 does have different skill sets. He is just more comfortable with that one. In the amateurs, he did have different, styles of fighting, and he found the most comfortable one for him, which was straightforward, boom, boom, let's get it on. So, yeah, I think it can be taught to him. I think that this fight at 154 would give him a sense of understanding that okay, I'm the big fish, but there's big fish out here just like me. So now he's going to respect Crawford's power. He's going to respect his IQ, and he's going to look at Crawford in a whole different light. So therefore, yeah, I think it can be done. But
Mm-hmm.
will the result be the same? I don't know. Maybe so. Crawford is look, man. I'm I'm not like a person that makes a bunch of excuses. Crawford, when I'm there, he put on a, a boxing display, and he earned my respect because he did it at the highest level at that weight class. So because you got to look at it, they fought similar opponents. So let's use Sean Porter for example, right? Now, um, when Brian McIntyre told uh told told Bud that he was behind, right? And Bud was like, "What? I'm behind." You sure? He's like, "Yeah, you're behind." He's like, "Yeah, I'm like, yeah, okay." He was like, "Okay, I'm behind." Like, yeah, man, he got out there and he got ahead. So
Got ahead in a hurry.
in a hurry, and Sean's a dog. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
Now, look at the fight with Sean and Spence. You know, it was also a good fight. So basically, what I'm saying to you, brother, is Crawford didn't just get out there and dominate. Um, he didn't dominate Porter like he did Spence, but they both fought the same opponent, and the same opponent was kind of rooting for the other guy. As far as strength and this and that. So basically, it was just um, it was just a lot of misconceptions in the Spence camp, and I believe that Bomac they had a better game plan, and they were the better team that night, and my hat goes off to them, man.
I don't think there was any misconceptions. I just think they got to reading their own press clippings and they started believing everything. That he was light in the ass, he was too small, he ain't fight nobody, and he got knocked down by old boy at 135, and he got knocked down by Kavaliauskas at 147, and that's what fueled him. Got and I'm the bigger person, and I'm the bigger this, and I'm the bigger that, because you never heard them say anything about skill throughout the whole fight. But
Right.
in all the press conference, it was always size, and strength, right? And your boy Tank called out Rolly on that. He said every time you talk, all you talk about is your punching power. You don't say nothing about skill. And in this
Right.
case, that was just a form of disrespect because they basically viewed Terrance as a fly, and they were the fly swatter. Whoops,
Right.
mistake, you know. And I
Yeah.
think that's going in. They just viewed it like, okay, he ain't fight nobody. He never fought nobody like me. I'm Errol Spence. I'm the one. He said it. I did all the heavy lifting. But what heavy lifting did he do? They beat the same people, minus Danny Garcia, right? And
Right.
neither one of them fought Thurman. And he didn't fight Ugas, but Ugas is not a top guy. He's a mid-level guy. If you could tell me who Garcia beat at 147 and made him a top guy, then I'll be surprised. But you know, I tell people that all the time. So I didn't think he was going to dominate him like that, but I had him winning because it's no different than You got a man who goes out who leaves out the house with a bunch of ones, and he puts a 20 and a 10 over his stack, so it looks like he has more than what he has. But
Mhm.
then you have a dude who really has money, and he has real money, but the dude with the fake stack is trying to say, well, you trying to say that my stack is bigger than yours. You ain't
Mhm.
really paid like me, knowing that he's bullshitting, right?
Right. You know,
So,
got,
but
got the
on
hundreds.
that
You
note,
know, I got you.
yeah. Well, on that note, let's jump to this dude here, Charlo. Let's just play the whole thing out. Let's start
Okay.
with if he wins, you really see Charlo fighting. Okay, fighting Alvarez again, right?
Hmm.
Let's say he beats Alvarez again. This is all hyper talk. I don't believe this gonna happen. But do you really see if that happens, win, lose, or draw against Alvarez? You see him actually taking the time to come back and killing himself to make 154 ready when everybody knows he walks around like around close to 200 pounds.
Nah, I don't got that happen at all.
I don't have it happening neither. And honest with you, I look in the I don't care what you say. Your eyes could always tell the truth about you.
Right.
When Crawford was talking to him, when he was okay, when the basketball player was talking to him, the dude with the beard, whose name I forget, right?
Hmm.
When he was talking to him in the crowd about, yo, you see your man calling you out, blah, 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 blah. He's like, F that. He's at 147. I'm at
He not in my weight
154.
class.
Yeah, he's
I
not in my
fight
weight
Charlo.
class. You know,
I fight
yeah,
Canelo next.
yeah. He was like, he was like, what the F you talking about, Negro, and all that, popping his neck and carrying on, which I don't understand where he stayed at on go all the time. But his eyes were shifting all over the place. Like I don't,
Right.
he ain't gonna be fighting me next. He ain't
Wasn't
gonna
no
fight me
confidence.
next.
Wasn't no
Nah, he
confidence in
wasn't
what he was
confident.
saying.
His mouth was saying one thing, but his eyes were saying another, right?
The
And
body language.
as far as him fighting Canelo, uh, you know what? I ask this question all the time, and I'm gonna get back to Crawford. What does he bring? What is his name? His skill level that he what can he bring to Alvarez that Alvarez hasn't seen before that could actually give him some problems? And people just say, well, he's aggressive. That's gonna work against him. Now, do you see? Do you see in a fight with Charlo and Crawford, even though size again they're gonna talk about size and everything. How do you have that fight going? Or give me a breakdown of that.
Well, I think that Crawford. You said Canelo and Charlo, correct?
Hmm?
You said Charlo
Crawford.
Charlo and Crawford. Oh, okay. That's a whole different story. All right. All right. Well, I think that that's going to be. It's not going to be uh, a repeat of Errol Spence. That's not going. It's not going to be that. But it's going to be basically uh, kind of like a Sean Porter fight. You know. He's gonna fight. But he's gonna he's not gonna be the A side. Charlo is uh he's a lot of he's a lot of bark, and he has a lot of skill, right? But being honest, just being honest about it, um, he's not ready for what Crawford can go at him. He's just not ready for that. You know, it's levels. So like, let's say Crawford is A plus, Charlo is B plus.
Mm-hmm.
So
And this will be the biggest stage that he's ever been on if and when this fight happens.
see, what Charlo need to be worried about is what's in front of him right now, right? And the the elephant in the room needs to be addressed is why are all of y'all ducking Benavidez? How about that?
I don't know if any, I don't know if anybody's ducking him. I think and even though I don't like what Alvarez said that he's not fighting any Mexicans. Well, the dude is not Mexican, right? He said
right?
that he's Mexican, but at the same time, I think what he's looking for now is cash out fights. So if you look at it, everybody's been clamoring for. He's looking for cash out fights, but he's also looking for fights where he knows he could win when, and cash out on them, which
I
is the
don't
three
think
fights that he has lined up.
we're speaking about okay, because
He's speaking
I
about Alvarez now.
okay Alvarez. Okay, well he is definitely looking for his three fight exit, big money fights. Benavidez would be a big money fight, but not the biggest money fight of the three that he could make. Um, me and you had a discussion, and we talked about a few things. But Benavidez is definitely not on that plate. But I don't think that I don't think that that Canelo honestly can beat Benavidez. I just don't think he can beat him. I don't.
Say that one more time for me.
I don't think Canelo can beat Benavidez. I just don't think
Really?
he can beat him.
What have you seen? What have you seen?
Um,
And
honestly,
again too.
I just don't think he can beat him. I don't think that he's gonna be able to handle. See, Benavidez is kind of different, kind of weird for his height. He got like height, and he got a lot of reach and a lot of power. So Canelo has to overcome the reach, the power, and the weird ass angles that he's going to be getting hit from. So it's just one of them gut feeling type thing.
Well,
I just don't. I don't think he can. I don't think he can. I don't think he can beat him.
well,
I
he's
just
the
don't.
closest thing to Kelly Pavlik out there because he used to train with Kelly Pavlik when he was a teenager, right? He
Yeah.
trained with Kelly, so when you look at him, you see a lot of similarities between him and Kelly Pavlik. Now he's faster, and I believe he's a bit bigger than Kelly, right?
Mhm.
But he also struggles in the first when he when he stepped up in competition, which was Plant, his toughest competition to date, right?
Right.
He struggled for 5 rounds. Plant never took advantage of that. He never did. I mean, he was winning on points, but he never took advantage of it until when he said, "I'm not gonna box this dude no more. I'll just go straight up, take it to him, and fight him." And now I said maybe 3 years ago, when I interviewed him on Major Key's show, I told him, "You can't beat Alvarez right now." I told him that. I even said, all due respect, you can't beat him right now, but I think he has a chance to beat him now because he's slowed down.
You told
And what
David this.
Alvarez should have done was fight him 3 years ago.
You told David this.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I told him that live. It was a live show. I said, you can't beat him right now with all due respect. You just can't. And I don't think he could have because he wasn't as settled as he is now, you
Right.
know? But
It's yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
what he should have did, Alvarez, was fight him 3 years ago and get him out
Well,
the way. This way nobody could say that I didn't fight him, right?
Canelo wasn't going to fight him 3 years ago.
Because he didn't have a bill.
You know what I mean? And you got to, and then and David, he loved cocaine a lot more 3 years ago than he does today.
That
So
was yeah, that was past tense. I mean, he was
that
at
was
weight and it was he was playing around with it, but now he's deadly serious.
now he's like he's taking this craft really serious. And I just think that David Benavidez is honestly one of the he's going to be one of the surprisingly um great fighters. I just do. I mean, don't ask me why I don't have a dog in that fight at all. I just see certain things in him, and when I look at him, I'm like, man, this dude's size and the pop that he has and the reach that he has. If he just learns to use the ring, oh my god, he's gonna be something. He's gonna be something terrible because he has all the tools, but you know, and then he throws these punches at these angles because his reach is so long. So you in the phone booth with him, so you're not expecting these punches to come, but they're coming. And you're like, how the hell did you hit me this close with these shots? I'm damn near tying them up, but I'm still getting hit with these hard shots.
You know what? I want to see him in there with. I want him to keep raising his competition, which is hard to do at that weight class because there's really no competition there for him.
Hmm.
Maybe I mean because honestly, he spars with the top 175 pounders. I know that for a fact, right?
Absolutely.
Because I talked to one of the trainers of them dudes, and they tell me that David Benavidez don't just hold his own. He really handles them sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Because like the guy who beat Alvarez, he handles him, right? And the other guy that could punch hard up there, 175, he handles him. So I think, like, I went back and forth with his dad on another podcast, and I was like, I really believe your son should be at 175. He got the height and the body for it. Why don't you just move him up to 175? Why are you staying at 168 for?
Right.
And the whole reason was for what? Alvarez. That's the whole
Hmm.
reason. But like I told David, you don't need Alvarez. You go to 175, you go knock on Joe Smith's door. That's the first dude you talk to, right?
Right.
You beat him, and he's actually dangerous because he could punch, and he's one of those guys like on the street when you fight, when you throw punches, he doesn't really look all the time. He just hits so hard that when he hits you, it's gonna
Hmm.
hurt, right?
Hmm.
So then once you dispatch him, you could go move to one of the title holders. You go through, you go show your goods with the title holder. You go be the other title holder, and then guess what? You have all the belts now, and you'll be undisputed at 175. Alvarez is yeah, he's undisputed at 168. Here comes Cinco de Mayo. Both of you could fight then, right?
Right.
And he's like, that sounds like a great idea. I said, why don't you go make it happen then? Instead of sitting around waiting on him and hurting yourself, because that dude walks around at 200 pounds. I don't care what nobody says.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
He
he
does.
probably walks around at 215, really.
It's his height. Hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, because Taba used to walk around at 220.
Yeah,
Mm.
he did. Hmm. You're right. But
But
um, but it's just he feels like he needs Canelo on his resume,
it's
and
that money.
I don't even think it's a money thing. I think he just wants to beat Canelo. That's all.
Okay,
And
I got a question for you, right?
hmm
What's the name beat? What's the name beat Canelo? What's his name? Bival, right?
yeah,
What did that do for his career? Did it do anything for him? Because he didn't make any more money in the rematch. And there is no rematch, and his status is still the same. So what did beating Canelo do for him?
well, you gotta remember that the Bivol is he doesn't he's not done. You know, he still has a career. So um
Basically,
yeah,
he's still unknown,
yeah, but you gotta realize, okay, when Canelo fought Mayweather, right?
right?
It took him how many years to get to right here? You understand?
Yeah,
Took him
but that was a loss, though. That was a loss. If he would have beat Mayweather, it would have been a different thing. That was a loss.
so what I'm saying is he fought Mayweather too young,
Yeah,
and
I know.
he fought Mayweather too young, and he got spanked. So
He got beat. Yeah, he
he
wasn't
got
never
spanked.
Virgil and
He
Dave
got
Bill
beat.
Clinton.
Whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
he got beat. He got a his O went bye bye. Okay, so which really doesn't matter because you know people put too much emphasis on the O. But anyway, it's the greatest fighters that we name and love. You know, most of them have losses. So just because you lose doesn't make you, you know, a bum. You know. But anyway, I just think that he just wants to fight Canelo, to have him on, to have him on his record. And as far as Bivol goes, Bivol still has a couple, couple good years in him. And you got to remember that those weight classes, man, they really don't got the really big names. Like they got a few, but not many. So it's kind of hard for those guys to become like household names. I mean, because yeah, I understand. Some people don't even know there's like a division at what 175, or you know, they don't know the divisions. They just know like okay, heavyweight, lightweight, welterweight. So they don't so but us, we know these things. So in order for like the bill to become like a cash cow, he either needs to go up or down or stay where he is, like you said, and unify. Um, and that's the only way he's gonna, you know, become a household name. Unfortunately, because this is the weight class that he's in, and that's just that's the curse of his weight class. But not to
I
jump
did.
off the subject. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were saying
Yeah,
something?
I just think when it comes to David Benavidez, he's killing himself to stay at 168 for no damn reason. There's really nothing to gain by staying there. Nothing. But Alvarez is going to retire and never fight him. So why stay there when you can make your own name at 175?
Well, see, that's a good thing. He's gonna have to do that. He ain't got no choice. He's not because Canelo's not gonna fight him. Canelo has a 3 fight plan, and he's not on that 3 fight plan. But I tell you, who may be on that 3 fight plan, and let me get your outtake. Let me get your outlook on it. So let's say if uh Canelo was to come down, um, and
He's
well,
not going
not
to go
even
down
come
in weight
down,
either.
not come down. Just say let's say if he was come down just to a catch weight at maybe like 160, uh
He, he,
like
he,
164. Not
he's not going
164,
to do
like
that. He's
160.
not going to do that.
But if he did, right? If
Hmm.
he did, right? You know that there's a guy named Spence that people would love to see that fight, which it wouldn't make sense to some people, but some people would love to see that fight.
Yeah, but that's a lose-lose situation for Alvarez. I mean,
Right.
even if he wins, he loses, and if he loses, he really loses.
But guess what? He wins because he goes to the bank.
Yeah, but he doesn't really need to go to the bank. It's still a lose-lose
Yeah,
situation.
everybody needs to go to the bank, brother.
I understand that, but I think at this point, he wants to he wants to he wants to go to the bank and have it make sense. Have the fight also make sense. It's just a lose-lose situation because if that was the case, he could have did a catch weight with Charlo for no reason. He
But
don't need to do that.
you
He's
think
not
he's
going to
gonna
do that.
walk through Charlo?
Walk through him, no. Beat him, yes.
So what? Okay, let me ask you this: how many rounds do you give Charlo?
8,
You give him 8 rounds,
7 or 8, yes,
and he's out of there.
yes.
How many rounds do you give Charlo winning?
Well, 12,
How many rounds do you give Charlo winning
12.
out of how does he win 12?
It's going to go to a decision. If that's it, if he, I mean, if he drags the fight out and it goes to decision, depending on where the fight is, and then he probably could get a gift decision or a draw.
Mm, yeah, that's possible.
Mhm.
Location's not
Yeah,
made yet. That's possible.
possibly.
Mm, but let's address um one of the other people that you had above.
Yeah, there's Costa Zoo, and then there's Boots, and
Boots
it's
is the one that I want
Boots,
to
but
address.
like he stated, he's moving on to bigger things. He has no reason to fight Boots. Boots doesn't
No,
do
no, no,
anything for him.
no. I don't think that Canelo was going to fight Boots, right?
Mm-mm. I'm talking about Crawford. Crawford already stated that
Right.
he earned his spot. He wants bigger things. Boots Ennis brings nothing to him.
But this is
To
this. But this is the thing, right? This is my thing, right?
hmm
I gave that man my respect. Okay. Now you got a young, hungry, prospect that's been, putting them down, right?
hmm
I don't think that he looks at it as he wins nothing. I think he looks at it as like it's high risk, low reward.
that means he gains nothing.
Meaning that so I'm not gonna tiptoe around the words. High risk, low reward means that
He
he
gains
thinks that
nothing.
Boots may bring something to the table. That he
And is
might.
he really high risk? I mean, at this point, is Boots really high risk?
I think that Boots. I think that Boots. Honestly, is the question mark
There you go.
because
Because
he's the question mark
yeah, because to be high
because
risk, you have to get in there with
but
peoples that are
right.
high risk, and
But
he
if
hasn't been in there
nobody,
with any high risk
but
people.
if nobody's gonna get in there with him, right? You
There's
got
always
listen,
somebody that'll get in there with you.
Spence.
It's all. I
Spence
mean,
didn't get in there with
Kavalauskas
him.
will get. Kavalauskas will get him there with him. I know that.
Okay, okay, but listen, Spence danced around it. Crawford danced around it. The only person that's not dancing around it is fucking don't duck me, son. And he just want to get paid.
I know Kavalauskas will get in there with him. I know that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that'll be
but
the biggest name he ever fought.
guess what? How many people know who Kevin Velasquez is? Honestly,
Hmm?
how many like just avid fighter fans know who he is?
How many average fans know anybody on his resume?
That's what I'm saying. He
Yeah.
needs a name, and the names are not trying to fight him,
Well, he needs to do something with. Okay, well, first you have to build your name, and he's had over
bro.
20 fights, and he hasn't.
He has a
I don't
lot of
understand
fights.
how they. Huh?
There's a lot of fights,
You see, I don't understand how this whole thing where you can't find people to fight. There's people out there who is a thing. There's people out there have the title of matchmakers. They could actually match this kid with tough competition, right? That they know is
hmm
competition. They might not bring the name, but they bring the qualities that you need to improve your fighter. So match him with these tough people, and then this is how you build his name. You put him through adversity. Fans love
yeah,
fighters that come back from adversity, and then they could
yes,
say, okay, well, he came back from this, he came back from that, and that's why everybody's ducking him. Right now, people saying he's being ducked because he looks good against nobodies. That's why he's saying he's
okay,
being ducked.
and I'm with you, but listen, I'm with you, bro. Trust me, I'm definitely with you on that. But listen, it's hard to make that argument and make it stick when we don't have the average fight fans wants to see Boots in there with a household name or a name that is respectable, that they know, that they don't have to Google and find out the stats.
Well, the average fight fan doesn't even know who he is, to be honest with you. That's
I don't know
and the
about
only
that.
way. No, but I'm saying the only way to do that is to put him through the fire. That's how. That's what.
Not
That's the way it's
it's not
always
gonna
been. No, but I'm saying that's the way it's always been in boxing. How you think Tommy Hearns got his name before he fought Sugar Ray? He went through the
bro.
fire and
This is
and
not.
and all of that, right?
This is a whole different generation
Yeah,
of
see, and
fighters,
that's the thing. I keep hearing that, but
and they're
at the
soft.
same time,
These type, they're a
okay,
lot softer, man.
and at the same time, certain things should never change because it's not broken, so don't fix it. Tommy
Right.
Hearns cut his bones on fighting tough competition that was known in boxing, may have not been known to the average boxing fan, but they saw this kid, they saw him with his big punch and they say, okay, he's gonna knock him out. But then when he went round four, round five, round six, and the guy was still there, then they knocked him out a little later. They were like, okay, well, we know he could go X amount of rounds. Then if somebody took him past those rounds, they said, okay, well, we know he could go the distance. And then when he had to box, they said, okay, well, we know that he could box and he could punch, and that's how he built up his name. And
Yeah.
that's how you should do it. That's how common sense will tell you, hey,
But
that's how
okay,
you
that was
build a fighter. Because right
bro.
now,
30
everything is
years
done.
ago.
Hmm.
30 years ago, right? That was
Right.
a great. That was a great argument, and I
That
was
was
right
actually
with you.
that was 50. That was damn near 50 years ago. Well, or
I
close
said
to
30.
50.
I
Yeah,
said 30. Just
you said
I'm
30.
I'm not trying to put your senior citizen card out there. I'm messing with you. Um, but I'd have been with you uh in the 80s, okay, with that argument.
Hmm.
But right now I can't because right now this is what's going on. The only way the fighters are making seven figure, six figure purses are to fight, you know, not the matchmakers, to fight the name. Now, when you put your life on the line, okay, you're
But you
not
have to
thinking
build
about
up
no
to the names
matchmaking.
first, don't you? Don't you have to
Okay,
build up to get the
right.
name?
But in today's fight game, it's about building up your not your name, it's about building up how many fights do you actually have right now. Like for example, I'm gonna give you an example, okay? You can go on
Deontay
the
Wilder
zone.
would be an
You can go
example.
on the zone, right? You can go on the zone with one fight, right? And start out and be on TV and be great. But you got
Yeah.
to have at least seven, eight, seven, eight, nine, 10 fights to be on Showbox, right?
Okay, but you're
So
talking about UK, where the fans are a whole lot different, and it takes a whole lot more than one fight.
right, but we're here, right? So what I'm
Hmm.
so what I'm saying to you is this: they um they would be it would be financially beneficial to all parties involved if they gave Boots a fight. And being fair, right? He has been the mandatory for uh, the top dogs for a minute.
Crawford,
Yes,
and he walked away from that. His father came out and admitted that his son walked away from it because he thought he
you
could
gotta get
get that he was going after Spence.
right.
He
But
walked away from Crawford to try and get Spence.
and guess what? And Spence was trying to get Pacquiao, and he didn't get Pacquiao. You understand? So, all right, everybody's walking away from this to get this. Man, give Boots a fight. Boots deserves a fight just for the simple fact that he's fought over 20 fights as a professional boxer. And I don't care if he was in front of 20 people that uh, was tomato cans. They were professional boxers. And you got to give the craft and you got to give the sport the respect that it deserves. This man has fought over 20 times. Damn near 30, what, 30, how many fights? What, 29, 30 fights at this point?
Okay, okay, well, yeah, but then there's fights and then there's fighters. We all know it's two different things.
Boots needs a championship fight, and that's just what it is. He deserves a championship fight.
He needs to give somebody a reason to give him a
He
championship fight.
has a
'Cause right?
reason. He
No,
is
he
this
doesn't.
he he's the mandatory.
I get the man, yeah, but nobody forced him to walk away from it. He walked away from it. Said he was chasing
Bro.
Spence instead of Crawford.
Okay, guess what? But Spence was chasing Pacquiao. I mean, so
Okay,
like
okay, good. Okay, so why didn't he turn back around and say, "Okay, well, I'm going to fight you now because I'm your mandatory."
he
He didn't
wants
do
to fight.
any.
He right. And he's trying to activate that now. Or did you not
Of
hear
course,
that?
he's trying to activate it now because the man just won the biggest fight of his career, and as far as his fight, he knows that his pay rate has jumped up now. So fighting him
And
now
guess,
make him a little bit of
yeah,
money. But
and it's gonna make him a lot of money. But this is the thing: if
yeah,
Crawford can beat him, right? Just beat him and get him out the way.
nah. If I'm Crawford, why am I
If
taking
I'm
a step
Crawford, I'm like,
back?
I'm gonna get this young dude out the way. Just
Nah.
guess why?
Oh,
No,
okay,
hell
listen.
yeah.
Okay, listen. If I'm Crawford, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to weigh my options, and whoever pays me the most is where I'm going. I don't need boots. Damn boots. I don't need boots. I can
No,
actually
he
give up.
doesn't need boots. He don't need
I,
boots at
I
all.
can actually drop all the belts at 147 and move to 154, and then boots can
And
do what
he's
the hell.
always gonna have that
Yeah.
stain on his record. People are
No, he's
always
not.
gonna say he's gonna have it.
Why?
Listen,
What has
because
Boots done to make him
because
so
the
valuable?
average the average
No, no, no.
idiot
What has Boots
is
done?
gonna say he
Hmm.
dropped his belts because he was running from boots, which we know that's not the truth, but that's what they're gonna say. He didn't want to fight boots, so he dropped his belts and he went up. That's what they're gonna say, and that's always gonna be a stain on his record. I don't
No,
want
it's
that
not.
stain on
No,
my
it's
record.
not because Boots is
So
not.
okay, listen. All right.
Because okay, hold on. What has he done to attract attention like that? You're not answering the
Uh,
question. What has Boots
was he
done
done? Like
to
I
attract
already
attention
answered
like
that
that?
question. He's already fought over 20 fighters professionally. So that means that he's put in the work. That man has fought 3 and 4 times a year, 5 times a year. That man has had old school principles of keeping himself busy,
Again,
active,
too.
staying ready. It doesn't matter.
It
He's
does.
been in the ring. You this is you I'm talking from the point of boxing, not from a fan. Because I'm not saying I'm a fan of boots. I want yeah, no, I'm not saying it. I'm talking from the sport of boxing. Okay, just like in anything else, like in the NFL. Okay, you win if we win a Super Bowl, right? You come back the next year, you're defending champion. You lose the first game. What does that mean? Nothing. So what I'm saying to you is this: for the sport of boxing, for our sport that we love so much, we don't want Crawford to have no blemishes at all.
He's not
Nobody
going to have a
to say,
blemish.
I listen, check this out. If you want to go to Glen Burnie, right, you might take 175 or whatever. I might take 695. But guess what? We both want to get to the same point. Might take a little longer, might take a little shorter, but there's different ways to get to the same place. What I'm saying to you is this: I honestly feel that if he does not fight Boots, it's going to be a blemish on his record, and people are always going to have that argument. Well, you didn't fight Boots because he was too young, and you didn't think you could beat him. You dropped the belts, and you went for the money fights, and then you got out of there.
Right. Because he don't
That's what
need
they're going to
boots.
say. It's not
No,
about what he needs.
one's
All right,
saying that now, and no one's going to
okay.
say that
Let me
later.
let me ask you a question. Put what? Let's put Crawford to the side of what he needs, okay? Because he's the king in that division. We all know that. So let's put that to the side for right now. All right. I don't care if Spence fights Boots. Somebody needs to fight him. You understand me? I don't care if it's I don't care if it's Crawford. I don't care if it's Spence. I don't want him to fight no damn. Don't duck me, son. I don't want him to fight no damn Garcias. I want him to fight one of the two big dogs and see where he falls, see where he lies. I don't
Well,
want him because listen, on the only reason we're going to be able to judge that man, right, on his actual skill level is to go ahead and put him in a goddamn fire, right? And
I
and
said that.
it would be a terrible thing. It would be a terrible thing for Crawford to have such a great career, two division, you know,
Three.
and two divisions. Uh, he two divisions and undisputed, two divisions, and um, to move up to a high division and fight three fights and get out of there. And people say, well, you had a young hungry lion knocking at your door, and you ignored him. Why?
Okay,
And then
let me ask you a
but
question, right?
if he doesn't answer that door, if you don't answer that door, people can say, well, you were scared to answer the door. But in reality, he's not scared. He just doesn't have to answer it. I
Okay,
get
well,
it.
I mean, let me ask you a question. Did they say the same thing about Floyd? Because Thurman was his mandatory. Did he fight him? No. And there was always Sean Porter out there. Did he fight him? No. And both of them were undefeated, and one was a
Right.
champion. So
But guess
I don't
but
hear.
guess
I've
what?
never heard anybody say, "Oh, that's just a blemish on his record. He never fight Thurman."
Thurman.
Yes, Thurman was his mandatory. He never fought him. He
Okay,
fought
but
old boy instead.
but guess what? Okay, so let's talk about that then. Thurman proved to be not the uh the the monster that
But that's
he
not
said he
true because
was.
he's accomplished a whole lot more with Boot
He's
than
a
Boots
comp
did.
because he's had the opportunity. He was given opportunities. You understand me?
And and
And
Floyd
if you're not given
and Floyd
opportunities,
and
then
no, but he was Floyd's
if you're not
mandatory.
given
Hold on a
opportunities,
second.
then you
Hold on a
can't
second,
fight.
brother. Otis, brother Otis Griffin has stepped in the room. Big up yourself, brother. How you doing?
How y'all doing, man? It was a pleasure to finally get on with y'all, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
salute, brother.
brother.
How are you, brother?
Hey, brother. I've been inviting you to the prom for years. You finally took my offer,
Yeah,
huh?
Nah, I finally had a free day, man. Usually it's busy. I'm training somebody or I'm out of the town or something. So I
Well,
mean,
go ahead and tell the people who you are real quick, and we'll get back on the subject real quick.
my name is Otis Griffin, mostly known for being the first reality show boxer with the next great champ by Oscar De La Hoya. I was a fighter that opened up Golden Boy Promotions. Went on to be the WBO champion 2 times, and also the NABO and USBA champion at light heavyweight.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Okay, Otis. I got a question for you because I'm having a debate here with my brother Ali. Right? He's trying to tell me that if Crawford doesn't fight Boots, it's going to be a blemish on his record. Do you agree or disagree from a professional fighter's point of view?
I disagree because Crawford has become what you call a prize fighter. I heard you mention that earlier about and what it is he's so elite that he's above the world champion level. Boots is right there at the top contender world champion level. He needs to get a world title, then have maybe one fight with one of those top 4 or 5 guys at the welterweight division, and then he might get a shot at somebody like Crawford. Or if it's like you said earlier, also, or if it's a lucrative opportunity, like everybody wants to fight so much, then of course Crawford's going to take it because he's a prize fighter.
Well,
Absolutely.
okay. So what you're saying is that Boots still gets free lunch. Crawford, he's top dog. He gets the fine dining while Boots is still eating out of a paper bag, right?
Oh yeah, and you know what's crazy? What happens behind the scenes? Shout out to Tavares Cloud. You know what I'm saying? When I was coming up, I was on top. Tavares wasn't on top. Tavares got on top and took off. Then I'm like, yo, I'll whip that dude. You know what I'm saying? so I'm calling anybody that'll listen, calling them out of interviews, everything. And this is what's gonna happen to Boots. This is what goes on behind closed doors that people don't understand. Don King was like, all right, uh, you can fight him, but you gotta sign with me and I'm gonna give you chicken feed. I'm like, what? Like, why would you
Mm-hmm.
go? You know what I'm saying? So then all Boots is gonna do is get mad and say that Crawford's ducking and all that stuff, but really it's the powers that be. Like either you wait your turn and you kick down the door as you go up the ranks, or you get in there, like how Earl did when he went over to England to fight Kell Brook. You know what I'm saying? That's how you can get just one or two ways you get in. You wait your turn, or you kick down the door like Earl did. So
brother, Griffin. First, mad respect. Big fan of yours, brother. Glad to have you on the show. You was definitely, a elite fighter. You know, when you were, fighting. So I definitely enjoyed watching you.
thank you.
And you're welcome. And so looking from the outside, looking from the inside out, right? It's a little bit different. So I understand what you're saying. So this is what I'm saying to Troy. I'm trying to say to Troy is this. I agree with what you just said, by the way. It's a powers that be. But what I was saying to him was by Crawford being, the big dog, the king, right? Um, if it was me, right, I wouldn't want, you know, I wouldn't want nobody. Like Crawford is just so competitive, okay? And he's the type of person that he doesn't want to lose in dominoes, spades, nothing, right? So he damn sure is not going to want to have somebody saying, "Well, you duck boots." Da 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 da. I'm saying, hey, why you still can fight him, get him out of there, shut him up, keep him moving. That's what I'm saying.
He
And
could do
and
that.
he could do
Like for
that.
instance, not to cut you off, but like for instance, I think Boots is maybe his mandatory for one of the belts right now.
Yes.
He was, but then he stepped away and said he was chasing Spence, and now he wants to come back.
No, he's still the mandatory because he has the regular, the IBF regular. So he's still the mandatory.
well, what it is this. You're right. Crawford could fight Boots and fulfill his obligation to the belts as he's the what I'm saying, unified champion and everything. But the thing that people don't understand is when you make the kind of money that Bud Crawford is making right now, when you become a prize fighter and not a champion, you don't do stuff just for the hell of it no more, man. You can't,
Hmm.
because now
Right.
he's already made history two times. You know what I'm saying? Like he's accomplished something by being the unified champion, undisputed champion, that has only been done like maybe like two handfuls of times. No, one time as far as being the two
Holyfield.
divisions. Yeah, but I'm saying like even to
Corey,
do
put
it
your
one
emoji
time
on.
to unify to be the undisputed in the division one time is like something that I think is still under 10 in the whole history of boxing. So, but he did it in
Hmm.
two divisions. You feel what I'm saying? So that's
I
never
think
been
it's
done.
8. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is he's not thinking about that little level and don't get me wrong, Boots is he's a world level fighter. You know what I'm saying? I was there before too. That's a world level fighter. But Crawford is now in the sentence with Mayweather. Uh, you know what I'm saying? Ali,
Hmm. Right.
Holmes. You know what I'm saying? Like, so in
Right.
order for Boots to and Boots is very talented. And matter of fact, I want to see the fight because it really would look almost like a mirror image of each other, which it would be a real high level of cerebral knowledge
I
of
don't think so.
fight.
I think
Well, no,
so.
no, but Boots is the poor man's version of Crawford, is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's a switch hitter, all that kind of
Yep.
stuff. He it wouldn't be a service for him to take that fight right now because he like I also heard you say earlier too, he hasn't prepared himself for it. Like if you look at his fights, I'm almost wondering. I think I discussed this with you before too, bro. Um, I'm almost wondering if his handlers know something that we don't know. Every time they put him in against the same guy with a different name. You
And
know
he
what I'm
get
saying?
hit with the
Someone that's
same
gonna get
right hand every time
yeah, yeah,
too.
and nobody in the division that is of interest or that's lucrative for him to fight are these top dogs like going from Porter all the way up to, you know what I'm saying, even if you back up to Mikey Garcia or DSG, all the even Errol Spence, none of them look like the guys that Boots is fighting. You know what I'm saying? And that's a problem when you're a fighter, because that's what a good promotion does, a good manager does. They have to steer you into those fights, like how a good matchmaker, like how he was saying, they steer you into the fights that are going to prepare you for that day where you're gonna achieve, the top moniker, and
Right.
I don't think he's done that.
Yeah, and he hasn't done it, and I agree with you totally. But my argument is this: that by him achieving just the simple fact that he's fought like an old school fighter. He's fought 3 and 4 or 5 times a year. He's got his record. He got it up there. So he has the record. Okay, so now that he has the record, now okay, maybe you should fight a Danny Garcia or somebody like that to put him in a room where as though he could say, okay, I fought a former uh, a champion. So
Yeah.
I done fought a former champion and beat before the champion. Now, I want you, but he can't say that because it takes two to tango, and both promotion companies have to be on the same page. And unfortunately, these days, these promotion companies they don't play fair, and they play nice, in front of everybody, but behind closed doors, you know, they really don't want to,
Who
they
is
don't want
Bruce
to give a
promoting?
lot. Well, yeah, he's Al Hammond is his advisor. He's PBC,
Okay.
so and that would be easy. That'd be easy to make, you know, now for Crawford. But he doesn't necessarily have to fight Crawford now. What I'm saying, even if he was just like Spence, say, hey, okay, fight fight Spence, at least Spence fight him, or somebody with a name, because if he's going to challenge Bud, he does need a name. I agree completely,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he needs a dance partner.
Yeah. I would
He
say
needs
that looking at the landscape, he's probably, which I mean, and it's beneficial to him because the guy hasn't fought in a long time. He's probably like being a part of PBC. He's probably gonna get somebody like Keith Thurman or something like that. And
yeah.
then you know what I'm saying. Once he gets Keith Thurman or whatever, then he's gonna have to wait for the dust to clear between the rematch of Bud and Earl Spence, because you got to understand there's money being made. Like Al Heyman and all these guys are making money off of this Bud Crawford Spence fight, as well
Oh
as
yeah.
Bud and Spence.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not gonna
Oh
allow
yeah.
some young dude just to jump the line for the hell of it and just get in
Nah,
there. That's what a lot of people don't be saying. They're like, oh, why don't you fight him? Like, man, there's major money on the table right now that nobody's getting in the way of. I was a
big
victim of that
money.
in my career. I beat Jeff Lacey, beat the hell out of him. The whole world knew it. Got robbery of the year, right? But I
Right.
was in the way of some big money. Roy Jones and Jeff
Mm-hmm.
Lacey was supposed to fight next. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's the way it
Yeah,
works.
yeah. Kind of like you said a name earlier. You said what was the brother's name? Cloud. What was his first name?
Tavares, Cloud. Yeah.
Yeah. You saw the fight with him and Glenn Johnson, right?
Yeah.
And talk about robberies. Glenn beat him. Glenn beat him, and they robbed Greg of Glenn of that victory.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think he was undefeated at the time when he fought Glenn.
Yeah. He barely made it out of that fight. You know what I'm saying? It was tight. I thought Glenn won. You know, Glenn is always gonna be an activity guy. But Glenn, man, Glenn, you talking about getting robbed, man. That dude don't got robbed.
Yeah, many a time.
Man, he don't got robbed so many times.
Okay, but check this out now. Let's jump to Costa Zoo, because Costa Zoo has one of the belts now, because the
Yeah,
belts
he
are
do.
broken up now
Yeah.
at 154. So if Crawford goes to 154, and he said it already, I'm 36. I don't have a lot of time left. I want to. What he's trying to do, he's going to maximize his status right now, right?
Exactly.
So let's say he fights Costa Zoo. Do you see danger? Do you see that as a dangerous fight for him, just to grab a belt and then has to fight whoever for the for the next three?
I
No,
know.
Costa Zoo is a very good champion. But like I keep telling you guys, there's a difference between being a champion and being elite. But it's just, he has too many dimensions for Costa Zoo. You know what I'm saying? And the kid is good, but I think because of his name and because of the I'm not hemisphere, but the area that he's in, like being down under and all that stuff, it's hard to get a lot of people to come down there and fight. and it's hard for you to get out of there and fight. So
Hmm. Right.
you know what I'm
And
saying?
he went there
It's like
twice.
they brought him along fast, is what I'm saying. In short, they brought him along fast. He has all the potential that his father had, and his dad is a great, you know, man. His dad has great training techniques. If you're out there and you guys want to watch some training techniques, go put in Costa Zoo, his dad's training regiments, man. You talk about like some stuff. So I know that in 2 years, Costanzo is gonna be a dude where he's gonna be like Canelo. Like you remember when Floyd beat up Canelo and then Canelo went
At
back to the drawing
23,
board. Yeah, yeah. Like that's gonna be Costanzo. You know what I'm saying? But right now he can't mess with Bud.
he's going
Too
to be a
young,
problem pretty much.
Yeah.
too young, not enough skill set and things of that nature. But brother Griffin, while we got you on the line, it's another topic we were discussing that you didn't jump in on yet. How do you see this Charlo Canelo situation playing out?
You know, there's a couple of things that I've been thinking about. First of all, I really was amazed when I first saw them stand against each other, and I saw how big Charlo is compared to Canelo. I know that Charlo is very athletic and everything. A lot of people don't realize it, but them, having running the shields in the camp and all that kind of stuff, and all the other trainers that are up that came from up under Runny around there, like James and all those guys. They have a lot of Jermaine Taylor in them. You know what I'm saying? Like that clean 1-2
Mm,
punch in their big bodies for middleweights and junior middleweights. Um, that will be a problem for Canelo. But one thing that bothers me about Twin, he gets very temperamental in fights. Like if you watched
yeah,
when he fought Tony Harrison, Tony was able to beat him with a jab because
He's
he was
impatient as hell.
agitating him.
He's
You understand what
impatient.
I'm saying? Like he let his emotions get tied up into the fight, and he was able to
Exactly.
beat him with a jab. So the fact that Tony was able to beat him with a jab and controlling the pace lets me know that there's going to be a whole bunch of wrinkles and strategies and techniques that Canelo brings out that he probably won't be able to get past.
yeah.
Yeah, because you know what, Alvarez's legs is not the problem. His upper body movement. He doesn't have good knees, so he relies on his upper body movement. That's how he's been beating these cats to 168, right?
He's strong, man. He's strong.
You get that and the fact that he's strong, but he'll basically sit on the ropes and he'll do his version of James Toney, which people think is
Yeah,
Floyd, right?
yeah,
And he'll let them punch and he'll move and he'll wait for opening and he'll hit you with one of these straight right hands off the wrong foot and knock your ass down,
exactly.
right?
He's letting them come to him because his legs aren't there anymore. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, ever since the GG, the first Triple G fight, he was wearing these, braces on for his knees.
Yep.
right.
And
He
I
was.
tell you guys another thing, the benefit of being a smaller guy, because you guys remember, Canelo started like 140, right? And
I
he's
think he
and
started
he's
at
Yeah.
and they
147, didn't he?
no,
No.
well, no, he had a couple fights at 142.
Right. He had a couple fights. He had like 3 or 4 fights in 140, and he went up.
Okay, brother, go ahead.
Yeah,
Otis,
brother Griffin.
Otis, you on
He's
mute?
there.
I don't know if he's on mute or not because I can't see the mic.
I can see him, but I can't see you.
Yeah, he might be talking and not realize he's on mute. I think you're on mute.
I don't think that he can. Well, I think he's gonna freeze.
Yeah,
Like
he
he's
probably
frozen.
frozen. He's,
Like
he's gonna
you know,
come back.
he'll come back. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that was.
yeah, but Griffin, man, he was exciting. He was exciting to watch, man. I
Yeah, he was. He was fun.
he was a fun fighter, man. I used to love to watch him fight, man. And his attitude, I loved his attitude, right? 'Cause it was just like, he had an attitude where he was confident, very confident, and I love a confident fighter because you got to believe in yourself, and
I used to mess around with him and call him Otis Grant because that was another fight that I was at that same weight class. The difference is Otis Grant was Jamaican.
oh Lord, here you go, go.
Brother, there I go.
Yes, there you go. Okay. Lord
Yeah.
have mercy.
He'd be like, I'm not Otis Grant, man. I'm Otis Griffin. I'm like, I know who the hell you are, man.
So speaking of you made me think of Gillian White. So yeah, the Zone has a in Top Rank. They have a pretty good lineup coming up for the next 4 months for the heavyweight division.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do. They got Tyson Fury. He's defending his belt. Uh, right. Okay. Exactly. Um, Against some guy. I can't even remember his name. And then we also got Anthony Joshua's worst nightmare. He's fighting. Uh, he's defending his three belts. And
Anthony Joshua don't have no bills.
no, actually, Anthony Joshua's worst nightmare has all three of his belts.
Who's he fighting? He's not fighting he's not fighting the European again.
No, he's fighting Poland.
Poland. I thought he was fighting Wilder.
No, no,
Why
that's
not?
not no. I don't know. I'll ask around, but right now they have a fight. They have a fight date set. There you go.
Okay, there you go. And now you stepped into the light. We can see you.
Yeah, man. I was in the car and the phone started overheating. So
Oh,
so it
yeah,
cut off.
man. Hey, man. I think somebody listening. I think somebody listening, baby.
Yeah. Hey, that reminds me. One time I was on the phone with matter of fact, that goes into the story I was telling earlier about my guy Cloud. I was on the phone with Don King, and something happened. The phone hung up. He had to call back. He's like, I was like, oh, sorry about that. Was that me? He goes, nah, the fucking feds was taping.
He would know.
hey,
He
hey,
would know.
hey,
Only
hey,
in
brother,
America. Only
right,
in
only in
America.
America. Hey, brother Griffin, it's funny that you said that because Don King, he's dealing with Adrian right now, right?
Okay,
Uh,
yeah.
and you know, uh, AB and myself and a couple of our fighters, we have a relationship, right? Anyway, long story short, the Peterson brothers and the real Freeway Ricky Ross have a promotion company. Um, uh, One of the Peterson brothers has their promotion license, so they got the real Freeway Ricky Ross behind them, and Don King is a part of that situation behind the scenes, right? So when when Adrian didn't show up to the press conference doing I think it was doing Tank. It was a Tank fighting. I think Tank was fighting. Anyway, he didn't show up to the press conference and his own press conference. And so Don King was like acting like he was real chill with it, but I was like I was like on like a Zoom call, right? And he was talking all this shit in the world, like, they probably detained him. They probably detained the brother. I know they watching him because they watching me, so they got to be watching him. Anybody, I gave him a suitcase full of money, a whole suitcase, a big suitcase, and it filled the whole table. And this is Don King talking like present day. So like
Yeah.
so I can imagine like you know what I mean like that story because it's some funny shit, man. Don King is the funniest dude alive, man. I promise
Oh
you.
man, I tell you what, if you ever get a chance to have a conversation with that dude, it's it's beautiful in itself, man. Just to hear him, like you say, hear him go through because he's so intelligent
Yes, he
and
is.
he's talking so fast and he's spitting game so you know what I'm saying? You just sitting there like, whoa, you like this Don King right here, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You lost in the moment for a minute, right? You know,
Yeah.
because he's not really actually the worst guy in the world. Like he's not.
No, he's not.
He's
No,
not at
you know
all.
what, man? That he gets a bad rap. First of all, he created all of this stuff that everybody's trying to do now.
Yeah.
And Bob Arum actually just took his stuff, reheated it, and called it his own. You know what I'm saying? But
Yes, he
Right,
did.
right.
Don is a crook because
Absolutely.
Yes,
Don
he
is a crook
did.
because he's a black guy, and Bob Arum is a a historian because he's white or whatever. And that's just how it is. I'm not being racist or whatever, but
Nah, bro. Hey,
you know
call
what
it
I'm
how
saying.
it is. Call
But
it.
at the same time, like people say that he's a crook and everything, but he's a businessman. Like for instance, in our conversation, I'll go back to that. This is why I never became a Don King fighter. I could have, right there, signed a contract. He says, all right. I forget the arena that it is in America. I mean, in Miami. I think it's called. Where did the Heat play at?
They they play in Miami.
American Airlines Arena.
American Airlines Arena.
Yeah. He goes, American Airlines Arena. He goes, I can see it right now. Otis Griffin versus Cloud. It's gonna be the biggest thing. Da da da. He goes, but you gotta sign with me. He said, I want you for 5 years. Da da da. And I'm gonna give you X amount of dollars. He goes, come on, let's sign. He goes, I see your contract right now. Let's sign. Moving fast, right? And I go, hold on. I go, Mr. King, I appreciate you and everything. I was like, what you don't know about me, I've been in the NFL. I was like, I have a degree in contracts, you know what I'm saying? A business degree. And I would like to just look over the contract, you know what I'm saying? And then after we do that, boom, right? So I look over, 2 weeks go by, I look over the contract. I strike out, some stuff that I'm like, man, that don't look right. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. And I go, hey, call him back. I go, hey, Mr. King, go, hey, what's up, OG? Da, da, da. And then I said, hey, contract's cool. I said, but there's a couple things I had to strike out because it doesn't really make any sense to have it in there and all this stuff. I was like, once we change that, I was like, I'm ready to sign. Let's go ahead and, get the promos and everything going, and let's get this going, man. I was like, thank you for the opportunity. And he goes, you know what, man? You a smart young man. I was like, yes, sir. And he goes, I don't change my contracts. I was like, what? He goes, either you gonna sign the contract or that's it or whatever, right? And then I'm like, what, man? I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna sign then, So the thing I'm trying to tell everybody is he's a crook to people because he gets you. You feel what I'm saying? Like if he gets over on you, you're like, oh, he a crook. But you had the opportunity to read the contract,
right?
And
you should
decide if you want what you wanted to do. Like I could have very easily been like, oh, this is Don King. I just want to be around him. I just want to be a part of the success and money. I'm just sign this anyway. And then I would have been one of those people yelling that he a crook. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So
you got to amend your contract. Look it over.
Yeah, because Terry Norris beat him twice in court. You know that, right? For the tune of like $4 million or something.
Yeah.
And then he turns around and hired a lawyer that Terry Norris hired.
Common sense, man. He's like, hey, that dude good.
That dude good. Let me hire him.
Because Terry Norris's contract read what it say, what's the word? Illusionary dollars, which is fake dollars. Which is fake money. Dollars. Is a play money. That's what he was basically saying. So Terry read that over, got his lawyer, and he was like, how you gonna pay the man in fake money? He's not a magician. He's like, look, I'm gonna make this disappear, and if you can find it, it's yours.
Damn.
Hey, for real, man.
And Otis, remember when I used to call you Otis Grant? You were like, my name ain't Otis Grant.
Nah, man. People make that. You know what? So here's the thing. There's like 3 Otises in boxing, right?
I know, brother. I know.
You got Otis Grant. Man. You got Otis Griffin, right? And we both were light heavyweights, right? Then you got Otis Pipperton, who is in the Mayweather camp. That was a fighter and a trainer as well. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you how many times people get us confused. And the other thing is Otis Grant is a brown skinned brother like myself. You know what I'm saying?
And Jamaican like me.
Yeah, but Canadian Jamaican, yeah. So
okay, damn. Okay, well, he ain't Jamaican.
Yes, he is.
So when I be up there in Montreal and stuff, and people be like, oh, Otis Griffin is in the building, da da da. I've had people like, I'm talking to somebody tap me on the shoulder, and I turn around, I'm like, yeah. They go, you're not Otis, and I go, yeah, I am. Last time I checked. And they're like, what? And then I'm like, I'm Otis Griffin. Who are you looking for? And they go, oh, I thought they said Otis Grant. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's crazy.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah. Because we get the same thing. His name is Troy Ali, and I'm Troy Graham. So we finally decided I'll go by Troy, and he'll go by Ali. Because every time someone was on the panel, they like Troy, like, huh? And they who
Yeah.
talking to?
Y'all should change it to Two Trojans. That should be the name of the.
Right.
Come on now.
That's a good one. Two Trojans, USC. Yeah.
You know what's crazy is I was
the
born
women
and
of
raised
Troy.
in a place called Troy, Alabama.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's
I didn't know there was a Troy, Alabama.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
There's a Troy, New York, and a Troy, Alabama.
Troy, New York, Troy, Alabama.
Yeah, you know, Troy, New York is in Albany, I think.
It is. It's right outside of Albany.
Yeah, very cold up there, brother. Very cold.
Cold as hell. It's right there by Canada. So.
I heard it used to be rowdy up there. Did it?
Yeah.
I don't know too much about Albany because I ain't really ventured them parts. I'm from the Bronx, baby.
Albany, New York is See, Albany had a thing to prove because they were like upstate, and they looked at like them. They weren't looked at like the Bronx and Brooklyn. So like Troy and Albany and Buffalo. Oh yeah, they got it in.
Oh yeah, Buffalo and Rochester too.
Oh look, I left Rochester out because I got a DJ career outside of this boxing thing, so I just left Rochester completely out. I didn't even want to mention that right there. But yeah, man, yeah, Rochester is real. People don't realize that.
Yeah. But Otis, man, I think I asked you and him this back in the day. Did you ever have a chance to fight Alan Green?
No, but he's a good friend of mine. I really like Alan. Yeah. They tried to match us up a few times on ESPN, but it just didn't work out.
Hey, and who's your? I'm sorry, brother. Who's your toughest competition so far, man? As a professional.
Well, there was a lot of tough competition, but there was only one fight I got beat up in, but I won the fight. But for the next 3 or 4 months, like I was still feeling it, and that was against my boy Byron Gator Mitchell, and that's the first guy to knock Calzaghe down. You know what I'm saying? So
is he from Florida?
No, he's from Alabama. And here's the thing: I grew up right. I'm a football player. My whole family was. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you guys knew that. I play in the NFL, a small cup of coffee in the NFL and stuff. I got family members that have played.
Who'd you play for, bro?
With Baltimore.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
And then so when I was growing up, Byron Mitchell was the WBA champion, right? We're from the same small ass town of Troy, Alabama, like Pike County, right? So he didn't know it, but I'm like, when they told me I was fighting him, I'm more like, man, I got to do this because this is like something I'll be able to tell like all my people at home about, you know what I'm saying? And, it's just an honor to even be sharing the ring with him. But he didn't know me because I'm like, maybe like 7 or 8 years younger than him, you know what I'm saying? So he didn't know me, and I'm fighting out of California at the time, right? So on paper, it looks like I'm this dude from, reality show guy from, California or whatever. But, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't until after the fight that he realized that we from the same place and who I was, and that, his people know my people and all that stuff. So, but the guy punches, his hands are so big and powerful, man. They feel like those cinder blocks that used to be under those old houses, those gray bricks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that I always do is when I meet the person I'm fighting at the press conference, I always shake their hand because I want to feel how strong their hands is and feel their forearms and stuff, right? So I shook that dude's hand. I was like, good Lord, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man. So then people in my family, without cheering against me, all they said was like, I had cousins and stuff called, hey, you fighting Gator? I'm like, yeah. They were like, hey man, hey, good luck to you.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Dude, he don't have like 30-something wins with like 25 knockouts. Like you barely, like, if you ain't gonna survive with him, you feel me? So anyway, so we get into the ring, and the human mind is crazy because it can think of stuff so fast. And because I look back, I'm like, how was I thinking all of that in between a fight? So the first time this dude hit me, and he hit me flush, boom. I was like, damn, that can't be his fist, man. Did somebody throw something outside the
Oh
ring? Like
man.
this is all going through my head, right? And then like so we swinging, but this is all going through my. I'm like, man, boom. And then one time, and I tell people all the time, they don't believe me, but one time he punched me. I kid you not, man. The human mind, the human body is a marvel, right? One time he punched me at the end of I think like the 5th round, and my penis got erect.
Oh well, what the?
I kid you not, man. And
Yo,
it scared the
hold
hell out
up.
of me. I was like,
How in the hell did that happen?
yeah. So then
He punched some arousement into him.
it was either him or the ring card girls. I don't know. No, I was like,
Did he have blue? Did he have blue gloves on? Little blue gloves?
nah, man, no blue gloves. Yeah, maybe he was sponsored by Viagra. Huh? Nah,
Right.
but then so the other amazing
Damn.
thing is when I go to the corner, right? My trainer, Saifedean Mateen, he keeps asking me, "Are you okay? Are you?" I'm like, "Yes, sir." Hey, like, what I need to do? What I need to do? Boom, boom, boom. Later on, he tells me the reason I was asking you, was you okay? He goes, because the body shots that this MF was hitting you with, I could see like his fist go into you and out of your back from behind. He goes, so I'm wondering how you was taking it, but he goes, so I was asking you like, you all right? You all right? Because I'm like, man, there ain't no way he taking this stuff. So that's a thing too. And then the biggest highlight of the whole fight, besides knocking out, my childhood hero, the turn and tail of the fight, the 7th round, Pernell Whitaker, because this was Lou Duva's birthday, right? They were promoting this fight for Lou Duva's 92nd birthday. Of course, me and Lou had a history from, the reality show and everything. He helped train me on the reality show. So he had told Pernell that, hey, that's my guy. So Pernell got in my corner. I come back to my corner. I sit down, and Pernell Whitaker is in my corner. And I'm like, he goes, young man, I'm trying to save your career. Listen to me. He goes, your trainer told me I could talk to you. He goes, did you tell me? And then my Saifedean was like, yeah, you can talk to him. He goes, throw the 1-2. You hear me, young man? Throw the damn 1-2. I'm trying to save your life. I'm trying to save your career. I said, okay, no problem. Got all my stuff, got that. I went out there, boom, boom, threw the 1-2. I'm like, damn, that worked.
That's
moved
awesome,
around, jab, threw the 1-2, boom, boom, threw the 1-2, and it dazed him. I saw his eyes roll, and then I just stepped in and just started going ham, boom, just throwing until they stopped it, man. And that's how I won the fight in the 8th round. So Pernell Whitaker, rest in peace, man. He saved my career, like he said.
That was an amazing story, brother. I got 3 questions for you. And then I'll let Troy have the floor, if you don't mind, Troy. First question is, when you played in Baltimore, what year was that? What years was that?
I played in 2000. I got cut in 2001, and I came back on the practice squad.
So you still in tune? Okay, got you. Okay. So how did you did you follow the Baltimore boxing scene while you were there?
I did, for the simple fact that I used to watch The Wire back then, so I always wanted to know who my man I don't know how I forgot his name right now. What's Javante?
You talking about you wanted to know who Calvin was. You wanted so you wanted to know
Calvin Ford.
Ford. You wanted to know
Ford,
who
I want to know who he was. So I went down to his gym and everything, and just peeked in because I couldn't believe that was such a real story, you know what I'm saying? But it was, you know what I'm saying? And to this day he remembered that, you know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't who he is now back then. So I just came in, and everybody looking at me like I'm a football player back then. So everybody like, what the hell? So we tripped out about it on one of these shows that he was at. I think up in Rhode Island, and he's like, man, I couldn't believe that was. He goes, I knew it was you when they announced you on the reality show and everything. So I did check to answer your question. I checked out the Baltimore boxing scene, and it's real. You know what I'm saying? It's real, man.
Well, yeah, I asked you because Calvin Ford Cuddy, that's what his nickname used to be back in the day. That's one of my, he's a good friend of mine, and one of my Muslim brothers, as well as he's one of my colleagues. I work with Calvin and Kenny, and uh, also we have a work with Marvin McDowell. We have a fighter. His name is Mojo Muhammad Jones. He's 5-0. He's he fights at 140, and he's uh he's out of Baltimore, man, and he's the real deal. He has all the tools, and he really has the best trainer, and I believe, in like period, and he has the best team. And I'm not just saying it because I'm on his team. I'm just cut man, but
Yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
no, really, he's really no, he has all the tools, and the guy, his trainer, Marvin McDowell, he also taught Kenny Ellis and Calvin Ford. So he's going to do big things.
Oh,
Uh, and one day, hopefully, man, you can come on the show, and you get maybe give Mojo some good words of encouragement, and
oh yeah, definitely, man, definitely.
that would be appreciated.
It's kind of hard for the fighters in Baltimore because there's so much trouble you can get into in the street, even if you're just being out the way. I have a fighter, Mike Guy. Matter of fact, shout out to Demond Nicholson and his father. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's my
Uh,
that's my cousin.
okay, I really love that dude, man. We talk online all the time. He fought
Yeah.
Mike Guy to a split decision, and we almost got in the fight with everybody out there.
Yeah, hey,
But it was
yeah, my yeah, they're both my cousins. Is his father, and him. But yeah, they're good people.
oh
Good
yeah,
people.
yeah, good people, man. Yeah, but like I was saying, there's so much that you can get into. We went to the live casino, for days after that while we were in Baltimore, and man, it's just even if you're trying to stay out of the way, man, you can get popped, you can get robbed, stabbed, all kind of stuff in
I,
Baltimore,
I'm in
man.
Baltimore right now, bro. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah. So it's like those fighters, man, they got a lot to overcome, man. So and I'm
you know,
sure because I've seen a lot of good talent. Even at the fights that I was at when I was there. You know, but and
yeah.
shout out to my man, the promotion company that's their former champion. That was Tony. What's Tony's last name?
What are you talking about? Tony Jeter?
Tony Jeter, yeah, Jeter Promotion. Shout out to them
Well,
too, man.
yeah, we're
That's
signed.
him and his wife, man. Him and his wife
Yeah,
do
we're signed.
a good
We're
job.
signed to Tony Jeter
Yeah.
Promotion. Mojo is signed to Jeter. Tony Jeter
Oh, okay.
Promotion.
I see Mojo. He just won. I mean, yeah. He was on that undercard of the fighter that Jeter just had that got a title, right?
Yeah. We was on that fight. We
Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
we
saw I
we
saw
got
him.
we got a what third round stoppage, fourth round stoppage.
Yeah, yeah,
Um
yeah.
yeah,
I seen that. I seen that. I seen that on the stream. Yeah,
yeah,
small world.
small, it is small world. Yeah, like I said, I'm his cut man, so uh
Okay.
yeah, Mojo, that's my guy. And Jeter, we saw with Jeter, and yeah, it is a small world. Wow. Yeah, Tony, he's cool, man, and his wife fight at Casino Live, and Tony, we also fight at Pennsylvania and other venues because that night that you seen, that was a wild night. A lot of belts changed hands that night, you
Uh,
know. And also one of Calvin's kids took an upset.
hmm.
Uh, Mozzie lost that night. I don't know if you know if that was Calvin's fighter, but it was
what weight class was that?
Mozzie. I think Mozzie was at like 160, I believe. I think,
It
but he
was an
was the
eight
last.
pounder.
Shoot, it only made it like the second round. He was a dark skinned brother. He was fighting
Okay, yeah, I saw that
white
fight too. Yeah,
white the white guy with a bunch of tattoos. Caught him with a body
yeah,
shot.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Hey,
yeah,
that
that was
dude,
that.
man, that dude had some big legs, man. I knew those body shots was going.
Hey, look, hey, check this out. When we were in the back getting ready, right? I was I was looking because it was nothing racial, right? Because Tony's white, right? So
Yeah,
ain't no white thing, black thing. There's a lot of white guys, a lot of black guys. There was an unusual amount of white guys in there, right? And
yeah,
all these white guys, they were just like big, buff. They were hitting the mitts, they were hitting them hard. And I
yeah.
was like, and I'm looking at it, and then and that particular white guy, right? And me and our whole team. Now I got to shout out my team. Uh, Shout out Mojo Muhammad. I got a shout out to Coach Devin Baker and Coach Mark McDowell. And like I said, myself, it's a 4-man team. And we were just looking at it like, shit. We were just like, we were like, damn. So we were supposed to fight, I believe, 7th or 6th that night or whatever, but somebody didn't make weight, so we had to move down or up. So we came out right after the lady, she sung the national anthem, and that's when we came out, and then whatever. But that fight right there, and then Mozzie, that was Mozzie, and then it was another fight where well, some people say it was a robbery. You know, the Mexican guy was fighting the other guy, and some people said that the Mexican guy won. Uh, one of Judas guys had 2 belts or whatever.
Mm.
They said it was a robbery. It is what it is. But and then it was another belt. Oh no, another belt. Somebody else lost. One of the co-main events. He took a body shot and he went down. So
Yeah, yeah, I saw that. That was for a state title, right?
yeah, and yeah, so yeah, exactly. So we're back at live October 14th. Um we already got that's already a done deal set up and it's already ready to go. And
Beautiful. That's a beautiful casino, man. I love
yeah,
that
man,
place.
it's really nice. It is. But like I said, we signed with Jeter. And it was a good move because Jeter, about Tony being an ex fighter.
Hmm.
And uh I, our head coach, Bob McDowell, felt as though that was the best move, and that's the move we went, and that's what we doing. So that's
Yeah,
that. So that was my
he
first
treat he
question.
treats his fighters like family too. Like
Well,
him and
I
his
mean,
wife. Yeah,
yes, yes, they treat us good. I mean, I have no.
yeah,
Hey, listen, I'm a realist. I'm not gonna sit here. I'm not gonna say something if I don't mean it. Tony's a good guy. I have, he's always given me respect. I give him respect. I don't have nothing bad to say about him. I don't have no complaints about anything. I think that we made the right decision by signing with Jeter, and I believe that Jeter, with Jeter, I think that we're going to still uh, go forward, but we're going to be on like Showbox like real soon because Mojo he's the real deal, man, or even ESPN. It doesn't matter, because we had Elijah Price, one of Tony's fighters, Elijah Price, the Wolf from
yeah,
Atlanta. He has a belt. He has a WBC
yeah, yeah,
belt
yeah. That was the whole reason that I was even watching the fight. The card was because of him.
because a lot. Oh, yeah, see what I'm saying? So like, it's a small world, man. A real small world. Wow. But like I was saying, my second question to you is and it kind of leads into this question now. Wow, it's crazy. Um, we have a fighter at the other gym at Upton, um, and during the pandemic, he took a loss. His name is Iceman Malik Hawkins, and uh, he's signed. He was signed to Mayweather for most of the time, and he took a loss, and
Hmm.
he didn't bounce back. He didn't bounce back too well from that loss. So I was just wondering, what advice would you give him? Because he it's kind of like um, I don't know what he is thinking or what he was thinking, but what's your advice, for him, to bounce back and come back and you know
Well,
fight?
there's only two reasons that you lose, right? And they're all on you. And that is either you made a mistake in the fight, it was off strategy, or sometimes we just make, crazy mistakes. And unfortunately, this is a sport where you can make a mistake and it's over, like you end up looking up at the lights and they tell you what happened in the locker room, so look at the tape, see what you were doing wrong, or what you need to fix, what you need to go back to the drawing board and fix. The second thing is look at the camp. Like, what did you do? Like, did you cut corners? Be real with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Did you not train hard? Did you not eat right? Did you something had to be done? You know what I'm saying? Like, did you not give it your best? Pretty much. And if you look at those two things right there, then you'll be able to examine yourself and be a better fighter.
Solid, man. Last question. So this is for one of my brothers, Bernard Hackett. His son is Jalil Hackett. He is, I believe, 6-0, and he's another Mayweather fighter, and uh, just had a fight in Baltimore August 5th at Coppin State, and he got the knockout. He handled his business, and his father Bernard Hackett and myself, we're real close. That's my man, and Jalil is the he's the one that like he's the guy, like, for example, before he was professional, he was about, he might have been 15, 16, and Tank had a fight in Baltimore, and Jalil was like, the sparring partner for everybody, like everybody. I mean, to this day, like everybody, he was the one that they called. So he's really skilled. He has a good team. Um, by him being with a top promotion like Mayweather, and he's from Washington D.C. And what what advice would you give him to just stay on the humble path and uh, you know move because now we're not fighting 5, 6 times a year. So what advice would you give
Hold on,
him?
what's his record now?
6-0.
Oh, okay, 6-0. My advice to the young man is something I was reminded of the other day. Somebody sent me a video of Hagler, his training regimen. Right, I'll have to send that to you, big bro. And it was pretty much showing how he isolated himself, how selfish he was, like pretty in a good way though. Like, he blocked out the outside noise. He was always had a chip on his shoulder. He was even in camp. I forget the fighter that he was doing road work with, but he was doing road work, and the dude said, "Man, it got to a point where I couldn't even keep up with him, but he was ahead of me, and I just heard him grunting, and he was cussing. He was like." And then he said, so I got a little bit closer, and I heard him say, "I'm gonna kill this motherfucker." Right? So it's that mentality that you got to keep. And then I was thinking, man, I was like, man, you know what? I had such a big chip on my shoulder coming into boxing from football, because nobody gave me respect, and they thought I was a gimmick from a reality show, that I
Hmm.
used to do stuff like that. I would just train and just like will myself to do stuff, and just keep talking to myself, and talking to I lost 2 of my brothers, so I'm talking to them in my head and using that motivation. That's what this youngster's got to do. It's real hard because we're in the information age, to block out all this um, social media and all that stuff. But when it's time to train for that fight, and it's 6 to 8 weeks, you got to cancel all the noise, man. You got to really be selfish. The girl don't matter. The
Right.
fan don't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's all about you and only about you. You know what I'm saying? You got to really get out there and zone. You got to even turn off the TV, stop answering the cell phone. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Stop getting on IG and Snapchat and Facebook. You got to disappear. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Just
Right.
because you got to think about it. In boxing, it's really, when you think about it, it's hard, but it's really easier in the sense that you got to focus for such a small amount of time. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Whereas other
Right.
people in other sports, they're going through a whole season and a whole preseason. All you got to do is focus for 6 weeks, and that 6 weeks, you know, on some Rocky Balboa stuff might change your whole life. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would say. And miracles happen that way. I was like, I keep having to allude back to it, but I was on a reality show. I had 10 amateur fights. I turned pro in the reality show. The first guy that I fought had 6 fights that he was 6-0. He won. He had 300 amateur fights. His brother and his father were former contenders and world champions. Jimmy Mintz, right?
Right.
Is his name. So with that being said, because I was so focused and I drowned out everything, them dudes were going, like, we're in LA and we're on Fox TV. They're going to the
Right.
club. They're hanging out, bringing girls on the set and hanging out.
K9 wasn't with y'all, was he?
I'm reading the Bible, doing sit-ups and push-ups all day.
K9 wasn't with y'all, was he?
No, he wasn't on that season. He was on the later season.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
But you know what I'm saying?
Sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So that's what focus can do. Like, focus can, if you ever notice out there, you guys, the people with the most talent probably never make it to the top. That's because the guys that are average are hungrier. You know what I'm saying? Hunger controls everything. But my advice to the youngsters, not to be so long-winded, I'm sorry, but
it's okay.
Focus, and if you really want to reach a goal, it's very attainable because people will hand it to you if you want it more than them. And that's my advice.
Hey man, that's some sound advice. And I appreciate you. You know, giving some advice to the young ones coming underneath us because you know, man, it really takes a village, and boxing is really the loneliest sport. I mean, that's not that's not a phrase, or that's the God's honest truth.
Yeah.
Boxing is the loneliest sport. So you know, you really gotta when you meet people and you find good people, y'all gotta stick together, and you gotta reach out to people and say, hey man, I'm going through this, man. What do you think? You know, you got to get good advice from sound people, you know,
Yeah.
and so hopefully, you know, from this point on, we can build a relationship, and I can reach out to you with my fighters, and maybe you can, you know, whatever. But I appreciate your advice, man. It was sound, and you played for the best team, other than the Raiders, but you played for the best team, brother. And
Hold on, you're a Raider and a Ravens fan? They play each other.
yeah, but you know, I can't help it, man. It's a Raider nation, but you know, hey, but it's a Rave. You know, I gotta go home team, man. You know, because
Yeah.
you know, hey, but you know what's crazy? You was on by you dealing with Oscar, right? How did you take that situation after Garcia fought and Oscar got the hell out of there and was like uh that he was receiving death threats from the Davis camp all week, which I can personally tell you was bullshit. But like, what
I don't.
he
Oscar,
left him?
believe it or not, and I don't know why. You know, well, I know why, because you know a lot of people are envious of him. But Oscar is the most genuine person you could ever meet, brother.
Right.
Like,
Hmm.
he was raised the right way. He's a God-fearing man. You know what I'm saying? Now, what happens to him, like, and this is only a glimpse, you know what I'm saying? Because after the Mayweather De La Hoya fight, the world awaits. I think it was like
07.
2007.
2007.
Yeah. I'm there, right? I'm you know, of course, I'm with Golden Boy Promotions at the time. I'm there, and I go to an after party, right? And I got all my dudes with me. They ain't never been to nothing like this, so I'm proud to show them and everything. And I go in, and they block me. They like, who is you? I'm like, dude, I'm Otis Griffin. I'm with Golden Boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about the company, right? They
Mhm.
thought I was saying that I'm with Oscar, which, you know,
Right.
if I wanted to go up there, I would have. But But
Right,
I
right,
was
right,
just
right.
saying, hey, I'm with the company, let me in or whatever. The lady comes and she's like, you with Golden Boy? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'm on this. There was a whole reality show with me on it, da, da, da. And then so these big old Samoans in black suits come, right? And I'm looking like, whoa, hold up. And then she's like, okay. She goes, follow me. She goes, but hey, if you guys are lying, there's gonna be some trouble. And I'm looking, I'm like, I ain't lying, but I hope y'all don't get nothing, mixed up. So we start walking, boom, boom, boom. She take a couple steps and she turns around and she stops and she goes, who's the president of Golden Boy Promotions?
Oh
Like,
my lord. Are
because
you
that's a
serious?
trick question. You know what I'm saying?
That is, yeah.
That's a trick question. And I go, Eric Gomez, right?
Right.
And she goes, okay. And she keeps walking, boom. So we go up there, boom, boom. I won't even tell you all the stuff because there's all kind of private cabanas and
That's funny.
different famous people and stuff. And my boys was like, whoa, it was like slow motion, but they saying all kind of stuff that you ain't gonna see. We get to the
Right.
top, man, and we looking down, and there's like 2,500 people or more looking up at us, like it's a whole party at the Hard Rock, right? And
Right.
and and Eric walks up. He goes, "Hey, Otis." He goes, "What's up, man?" He goes. I'm like, he goes, "How'd you get up?" I go, "Yeah, man. They bring me up here." And then she goes, "He's not supposed to be here." And he goes, and Eric's like, "Relax. He's fine. I just didn't know if he wanted to be up here or somewhere else." And then and I'm like, yo, where is this? You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Because it was decked out, man. There was some people there, man, from all over the world. There was like dictators and all kind of stuff, man. And then like it got so uncomfortable for me and my clique that they was like, hey man, let's just go back down.
Wow.
like these people are too famous for us to even
You feel
like
comfortable with.
feel like to be even like ourselves. So right then that let me know, like going back to my point that I'm trying to make is it's hard being Oscar De La Hoya. That dude is famous. You know what I'm
Yeah, yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
like
Yeah.
like there's a housewife in Jordan, you know what I'm saying, that knows who Oscar De La Hoya is.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So like I can imagine the stress of being him every day and stuff like that. So when he says like, oh, some people were, doing death threats or whatever, to us it's like, oh, dude, you a fighter, you a former champion, you could just mess him up. But I'm gonna tell you, having been around him and being in the street of LA and seeing hundreds of people, or being in the airport with him and seeing hundreds of people like just rushing, that don't feel good. Like in the movies it sounds great, like, oh, like the Beatles, like, oh, people are chasing us. But when that happens in real life, bro, you start thinking like, man, what the hell is going, like, I'm scared, like, please stop, like.
And you know what? And I respect you for being honest, right? But this is the thing, right? you know, we're talking about the aftermath, okay? Now, Oscar. Now, this is not hearsay. This is like all facts, because like I said, I was there. Okay, so this is all this is facts. He said that he was receiving death threats from the Davis camp all week. Okay, all week, and then he said that his security said when Ryan took the shot and he went on one knee. He said the security came right over to him and said, "Boss, we gotta go. We gotta get you out of here right now." So left, whatever. Now Bernard left also, but he went to the locker room and then he went to a dinner date. And they both ended up at a dinner date with some people. But my thing is this, you know, my whole question is like, okay, do you think that's? I mean, don't get me wrong. I actually like Oscar. Okay, so let's just make that known because, like you said, like I grew up watching them on the Olympics and this and that, so like, the Golden Boy. I mean, like I bet against Floyd. I bet against Floyd, on that fight with Oscar. So, um, But my thing is this: you don't leave your guy and send your president or vice president to stand up there. You stand up there with your guy, whether he loses, whether he wins, or whatever. I don't care what the situation is because you it is death threats. Guess what? You're inside of an arena, okay, where you're inside of an arena. There's no people there now. Everybody's gone. You have your security. You have everybody around you. There's no reason in the world. Brian Custer is not going to attack you. Okay, that's not going to happen. So why would you leave Ryan? Why would you leave your guy? I mean, like if you were Oscar, would you have left Ryan up there by himself?
I'm telling you, bruh, I'm telling you. However famous you think Oscar De La Hoya is, like in your mind right now,
Right.
times that by 20.
Okay.
Now, realize that since 1992, he's been that famous. There's so many things that I've seen just being around him, when I was there. There's probably so many other things that he's had happen. That's why he has top security people and stuff like that.
31 years.
That's you can't when you're that famous, man. You can't roll the dice. Like he's almost like on the president of the United States type level, where like somebody could possibly bomb a building just to blow him up. Like forget everybody else that's in there. Like it might be thousands of people, but they only did it just to blow him up. You know what I'm saying? So from your point of view, I would say yeah, I would stay there or whatever. But knowing all the other stuff that happens in his life and how I can see why he got out of there, definitely.
Okay, you know what? Hey man, I appreciate it. I respect that. I'm gonna be honest. Um, that's a whole different side that I never even thought about. That's what 31 years of constant,
harassment,
so right, constant, right?
Yeah.
And by him being by him being a nice guy, in the beginning, I'm sure he tried to meet and greet everybody possible, but it gets to a point where you can't sign every autograph, and it's not because you don't want to. It's just not. Sometimes you're just not safe. Sometimes you're playing, ready to leave. Really, a lot of things. So
he is just like that too. I've been with him in places, Puerto Rico or whatever, and he signed autograph. He wants to stay, and then like you just said, hey, we got to go. Like that's enough. Like we got to go. And he's like, oh, all right. Like his personality, dude. To be as famous and successful and have the money that he has, he's one of the most genuine people because it didn't change him. You got some people, like for instance the Charlo brothers, right? I watched one of them dudes walk. There's a clip online on IG. He walks up to the the people that rope off the VIP section for the first 5 rows of the boxing arena or whatever, ringside tickets, right? And he walks by, and the lady's like, "Oh, okay, well, hold up." And then he knocks her hand off of him, and steps over the rope, and turns around and tells his entourage, "Come on!" And then they're like, "Oh man, we ain't doing it like that." So they pull out their tickets and show, and then they finally catch up to him, and he's like doing all. I'm like, dude, like that's who
he seems like that type, that he seems.
Like Oscar could easily have been that type of person, but he ain't even like that. You know what I'm saying? So I respect him a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Charlo's bipolar, so that's different. Like honestly it is. But hey man, hey Griff, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate the honesty. I read rooms really good, and I read people. I read body language very well, and I see that your answers, they were genuine, and I thank you, for your time and your and for your advice, and I'm going to definitely be speaking to you later, and as Mojo he advances, because you need people like you and other fighters that been there already to give him advice to keep him motivated because motivation is something that is a big factor.
Yeah.
So
And I
I
also want
appreciate
to,
you.
yeah, I want to shed light too. Like anybody, if you're out there, contact me on IG, Facebook. If you got fighters that you think that are on that level and haven't been noticed and ready to blow up, I work with MG Ring Productions. You know what I'm saying? We're a talent agent, a management company that's been around since 1989. We've had
Mm,
guys like Danny Williams, one of the first guys to beat Mike Tyson. We had the
mm,
Atomic Bull, uh, 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 Oliver McCall, the WBC
mm,
champion, and then all the way to today's date, we got guys like Mike Guy, Aaron Coley, Richard Van Sicklen.
mm.
We put people on Showtime. Like I have so many fights come across my desk, I can't even find enough fighters to fill them. You know what I'm saying? So if you really want that work and you really trying to get into that spotlight, hit me up and I got a place for you.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, after the show, I'll get you. Troy has your information.
Yeah, Troy. Yeah, he got my stuff.
I'll get it from him, and then we'll just talk at a later date, man. Because yeah, it's a few guys that's in that position, and you definitely may be helpful because one thing I do believe in is sticking together as a people, and also if you are you mean like if you are in a position to make something better, hey, let's do it. So I'll be reaching out.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Hold on. Let me just see. I'm talking and I'm on mute as I usually am. But well, thank you for coming by, Otis, aka a big brother Almighty. Yeah, remember all yeah, even though I got you by a year or two, but you're still big brother. You still big brother Almighty. On Fridays I do panels, man. I have different people on the panel. We had Kelly Pavlik, Kevin Kelly,
Kelly,
Marlon McDowell, Andre Rozier, all on the same panel. So
but
yeah,
no, I have
hopefully
to.
you'll be free one of these Fridays, man. You can chop it up with people that are on your level, man. Because you know what, I used to do. I, I, I used to interview a lot of people, but that gets kind of boring asking the people the same questions all the time, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
how many times can you answer? Yeah. Have you fought this one and that one? Where I could put you on a panel with a bunch of.
Man, hey, Kelly
yeah,
got Kelly Pavlik
Hmm.
and the Flash
Yeah,
got some. They got some stories though, man.
yeah. Ghost in the
Like
flesh.
yeah.
yeah, like so. I mean, those same questions, man. Shoot, man.
Man,
I've seen Kelly answer some questions just in a just like a little forum, like just typing back and forth with people on sports pages on Facebook, and it's like, man, it's some great information. So
Yeah, man. Well, I'm gonna call him tomorrow because I know he has a movie out about his life. I think Kevin.
okay,
Yeah,
Kelly.
Kevin.
Oh,
Kevin Kelly. I think he got a movie. I gotta call him and find out about that movie.
all
But I
right.
tell you what I love
That,
about Kevin, man. I tell him all the time, Kev, man. You like Stevie Wonder, man. Once you give you that mic, boy, you ain't never gonna
uh,
give it up. So yeah,
hey, hey,
that's
Troy,
my boy.
Kev be like on his life of his movie. He's probably like narrating. He's probably like, I'm the best person for this because I'm a left-hander. I'm a southpaw, so I think I'm the best person because I should compensate this because I'm a southpaw. And since I'm a southpaw, I think I'm the best person to do this. And they should reach out to me because I'm a southpaw. And since I'm a southpaw, I think I'm the best person to do this. So I think my life is my best story, and I'm a southpaw, and I can tell them the best because I'm a southpaw.
Oh,
That's my man, Kev.
yeah. But Otis, real quick before I end it, you have anything you want to promote on social media, like how do people find you or anything like that?
you just find me on IG. I'm not on a lot of social media. I'm on IG and I'm on Facebook. All the other stuff gets confusing to me. And it's usually Otis Griffin or either Next Great, like NEXT_GR8. And if you type in one of those two things, I'll pop up.
All right, brother. Well, hey, thank you for your time, brother.
Oh yeah.
I
Also
definitely
go by the
appreciate it.
millions. Go by the millions.co site. Check out all my gear. You know what I'm
So
saying?
you
I
got
got
merch?
Beam Team merch. I got
You got
Beam
shoes?
Team meaning the team out of Sacramento, the Sacramento Kings, the Beam Team.
Okay, you
I
got
got
merch.
3OG
Okay.
merch. You know what I'm saying? And I got the 3OG merch is really like, it's not really about me, even though my name is Triple OG. It's more about any OG. So if you are a OG above, 40 or whatever, or if you are a youngster and really put in that work to be an OG, you got to dress like an OG. You know what I'm saying? You got to go get you some Triple OG gear. You know what I'm
All
saying?
right.
Yeah.
Hey,
All
my
right,
man. Hey,
all right, brother.
I,
I tell you
I
what,
like
I'm gonna
this
reach
guy,
out to
man.
you off,
Good guy.
offline because I want to ask you about something. All right.
All right. Sure.
All right.
And
Thank you. Thank
offline,
you
Troy.
again.
I'm sorry, I'm offline, Troy. Do me a favor. Uh, I'm gonna tell Troy to give you my info, and
Okay.
vice versa. So I'm gonna tell him give you mine, and
Sure.
I'm gonna get yours, and we'll talk online.
Oh,
Sure.
Sorry for the interruption, Troy. Go ahead.
Otis, before you leave, man, I apologize because y'all got into a good conversation. Yeah, somebody posted a question for you right there. Have you ever fought one of your good friends?
Oh, yes. Yes. So this is good. A good thing to end on. It actually ties back into the Don King story. So for years,
Yeah.
me and Yusuf Mack out of Philadelphia, contender and champion also, we used to train at Big Bear, right? So he was a 168 pounder at the time. We used to train at Big Bear under John Tandy out of England, one of the best trainers in the world, like best conditioning, best
Absolutely.
strategic coach, everything. This guy, he makes fight plans for like the Kalisto brothers and people like that. That's this guy. So we're up there at Big Bear. We're training. We have to, spar. We go down to wild cards and spar. We have to spar each other, up at on the mountain too. On the days we don't go down to LA. So we know all each other's moves. Like he can, blink the wrong way, and I'm gonna be like, oh, I know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. So come to find out, when I wouldn't sign the contract to fight Tavares Cloud, right? Don King says, oh, all right, you ain't got to sign my contract. He goes, I'm gonna take that belt from you anyway. Right? And I'm like, whatever, Dad, da da da. I was like, hey, no hard feelings. I'll see you around. Lo and behold, the IBF, right? They say, hey, mandatory IBF eliminator. You and Yusuf Mack. And I'm like, Yusuf. I was like, first of all, me and Yusuf ain't fighting each other. You know what I'm saying? We got too much history. I was like, and he a super middleweight. Like, how y'all gonna, put him up in the IBF eliminator for light heavyweight? He a super middleweight or whatever. I was like, he ain't gonna sign to that or whatever, right? So then IBF hits me up. They're like, yo, hey, he ready to fight. I'm like, man, what? No, he ain't. I call him up. He's like, hey, man, it is what it is, man. I gotta get through you to get the cloud, like type thing, right? And I'm like, all right, man, so be it. So of course we couldn't talk like we normally do, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So we put off everything. We got to LA. The fight was in LA, and he came to the press conference and everything. He tried to, ice grill me or whatever, right? And I'm ice grilling him. Then we both just bust out laughing, and we just we jabbed each other. But here's the thing: we knew it was going to be a competitive fight, high level, but we ain't got to do all the ugly stuff. You know what I'm saying? And everything. So it went 12 rounds. It really was a very tactical fight. A lot of posing. Kind of reminded me of Roy Jones and Hopkins. You know what I'm saying? A lot of posing and because you don't want to step into too many traps or whatever, right? So finally, they tell me in the corner, like in the 11th round, they're like, hey, this is gonna come down to a split decision. And after what him signing with Don King and what he told you, we don't wanted to do that. And I'm like, you're right. Damn. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to, pick a point and rush him. You know what I'm saying? So like I told you, we know each other's moves like a mud. So I start circling him, right? It's a strategy that we call pie, Ali, right? So you circle a guy is actually what Muhammad Ali used to use. You circle a guy, it's mathematics, right? So the circumference of a circle is pi, 3.14, right? And that's when you where you dissect the circle. So and that's called a slice. So I'm circling them, boom, 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 and I'm waiting for the moment to slice and just start throwing, a venomous combination to try to rock him, right? So, but the thing is that he also was trained by John Tandy too. So I'm thinking I'm playing it off like right. Um and I'm like, feint, and I slide in. He throws the famous Yusuf Mack Philly check hook. Barely hits me on the top of my big ass head. Boom. And it didn't hurt me, but because of the balance and the momentum, it knocked me over to my left knee, right? And then he ran to the corner, and he's sitting in the corner like smiling at me because he know it didn't hurt me, but I'm on the knee because I'm doing the math now in my head. I'm like, dude, that's a 10-8 round. That means if it was tight, then damn, he gonna win the fight. But man, you know what I'm saying? So I got up. He won by split decision. You know what I'm saying? He went on to fight Tavares Cloud, so as the number one contender. But so, yeah, that's my story about fighting one of my very good friends, Yusuf Mack.
I tell you what, brother, that name, did he fight Roy Jones? Did he fight Jones?
I don't know.
He didn't fight Jones. He fought Tavares Cloud, and you saw him fight Glenn Johnson.
Glenn Johnson. Okay. And also, brother, if you have the time, man, you want to see a good fight between friends, go look at Simon Brown versus Maurice Blocker.
Simon Brown, yeah, that's a warrior right
there. I mean, they were so close that they came to the press conference wearing the same sweatsuit, same color and everything, right? And then, and they grew up together from the age of 12 or 13, whatever. And Maurice was like, yeah, we used to sleep in the same bed. Simon was like, don't tell him that.
That's crazy. Hey, Troy, let me ask you real quick, because you had the IBF. So real quick, so by you having the IBF at one time, right? Like Tank had the IBF, and you know how the IBF weighs in, right? 2 weigh-ins,
Yeah.
So do you think that's a advantage or disadvantage? And do you also think people tread away from IBF and go towards the WBO, WBA, and WBC because of that 2 weigh-in policy?
No, because also the WBO does 2 weigh-ins also, and the IBF is started that because too many people were manipulating weight classes. Like myself, for instance, like I can weigh in at 175 tonight, and by this time tomorrow I can be 198 pounds.
Yeah, you got rehydrated, right?
Like I just know how to rehydrate. I had a gimmick. I know my body and everything,
right.
And that's not really fair to somebody that is a true light heavyweight. You understand what I'm saying? So the IBF came up with a clever way of stopping people from getting hurt, really, because if you're fighting a guy from a whole nother weight class, you can really take a lot of physical damage that way. So it slows it up because by like 9 or 10 a.m., so the night before, I can't waterlog myself in Gatorade and Pedialyte and pizza myself to death. I gotta wait until that midday weigh-in, and then so now instead of being an extra 10 pounds heavier, I'm only gonna make it to like 185, 187.
And it's funny you said that because Tony Judah last time, our last fight, it's so because we always had late weigh-ins, right? So he made it we had a light, we had an earlier weigh-in. So our weigh-in was like at noon instead of like at 5. So that because how it is to be, weight drained, dehydrated.
Yeah, you don't want to wait.
You don't want to wait. So Tony, by Tony being a fighter, he understands it. So he made it. Maryland rules are really different. Like I don't know if you ever put in Maryland or not, but Maryland rules, a little bit different, or whatever. But yeah, I understand WO has it also, but the IBF, they enforce it like heavy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they do. But the WBA and the WBC, that's why a lot of people WBA now. Like if you notice, everybody's running for the WBA. Everybody and then WBC. But yeah, man, that's all I want to know because the IBF, man. That's
And the IBF, I'm just gonna say, is the most class act from
yeah,
top to bottom
yeah,
that any sanctioning body can be.
yeah.
Oh,
WBC,
Bob Lee, right?
a lot of they tie into certain promoters and stuff, and they'll screw you over. The WBA is more of a South American and European thing. They can screw you over sometimes,
Yeah,
but the
they will.
IBF is solid, and it's a sister company of the WBC. So
Yeah,
and it's black. What I'm saying?
yeah.
It took off by
Bob Lee.
having Larry Holmes be the champion, and then Daryl Peoples, Mrs. Mara Muhammad, all those people, man. Mr. Tucker, like man, those
Uh-huh.
are solid people, man. That really, they care about the sport.
That's right. But this guy up here to the left of me now, up top and to my left on my screen, he he the WBC, he says,
You don't
he's
have
not
a
a fan.
picture up.
He's not a fan of the WBC.
You talking about T. Roy?
No,
Yeah,
Otis, because what I'm trying to explain to these youngsters is that not that Ali's a youngster, but the WBC used to be in Don King pocket. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay,
absolutely.
so how did it become this almighty famous best sanctioning body all of a sudden?
The green
Because
belt. Everybody love
the
the green
fighter
belt.
makes the belt don't make the fighter. When you got guys like Mayweather going, I only care about the WBC, and
All
now
right.
everybody's over there at the WBC. When you
Everybody love the
had
green belt.
when you had Larry Holmes say, "Hey, I'm throwing away all these belts, and the IBF belt is the only one that matters." Guess what? Boom. When you had back in the day, a lot of people forget that there's really another big sanctioning body. It's called the IBO, and
Yeah,
it was one of
James
the
Tony
major
had one of those
ones. You know what
belts.
I'm saying? When Tarver was around,
yeah.
when Roy was on top, they really pumped the IBO. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what
Now
they
the
James
did.
Tony
IBO
was
is
the
coming
IBF,
on.
175-pound champion.
Who's
Yeah,
that?
James Tony.
James Tony was 175-pound IBO champion.
Yeah, so here's the thing about the IBO. That's the hardest ranking system out of all of them because they take the people that you fought and they mathematically equate it by wins and losses, and then if you ain't like all these other sanctioning bodies where they have man, this dude ain't fought, like how we were talking about Boots or whatever, right? So they
Right,
say, man, he ain't fought nobody. How is he the number one contender or whatever, right? That can't happen in IBO.
right. They're different. They're old school. Old
Yeah.
school.
Okay, well, I tell you what, brother. Before I shut it down, there's a certain heavyweight that Otis is a huge fan of, and we used to go back and forth about this certain heavyweight.
Who's
You know
that?
who? You know who that is, Otis?
Who's that?
Bum.
Bomb Squad.
Yeah, Sleep Squad is what I call him after what Fury did to him. Yeah, but yeah. But
You
look,
call
man,
them what? Street
I've been trying to
Squad.
get that brother on the show, man. So we'll call you off air, and we'll see if we get him on the show so he can have a real interview for once, and not the soft touches that he's been going to.
Hold up.
He,
I missed my phone like paused. Who you talking about? I know you're not talking about Hashem.
Bomb Squad.
Oh, okay, got you. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bomb Squad. Yeah, okay. I'm with you, bro. Because this guy over here, once again, up like the Brady Bunch. We're in the Brady Bunch. So he's to my top, my left. So he's going to
Yeah.
be Marshall. He,
Marsha.
he's hard on Wilder, man.
No,
We're trying to get him
no,
on air.
no, I'm not. I'm fair. I'm fair and objective, man. If I say
I have
yeah,
clear.
I just stand
I
my
have,
ground on
but
things.
I got clear.
How you
I,
fair and objective when
listen,
Deontay Wilder? I can understand because we've been talking about him for a long time. I can
Yes,
understand
yes.
earlier in his career, like when he didn't have nobody on his resume, and I was telling you that he was going to be as good as he ended up being. You like but once he got Stavern, once he got
yes,
my man
the,
the big
the
Cuban.
Cuban dude, right?
Yeah,
And he
like you
gave him
can't.
a
It don't matter
rematch.
how you get there.
He's
Is
so
what
good
you
you
do
don't
when you
remember the
get
man's
there.
name. Oh,
And then
okay, but he's so
you got
good
to
you don't
remember.
remember his name.
We got to remember
The Cuban dude,
we're
yeah,
one.
him.
Listen, we're one bad count away from Deontay Wilder being undefeated and never hearing about Fury again.
Thank you, sir. Hey, that's why this dude was a Baltimore Raven. This dude was a, I mean,
You got to
yo,
come back on. I mean,
this
I
dude
got to get
here,
this cat on a panel. I
this is
gotta
my
get
new
Deontay
guy.
Wilder on the show or on the
Hey,
panel, and I'm gonna have
hey,
you on there. I'm gonna
brother,
have Ali.
he's my new guy.
I'm gonna have brother. You know, what is not Hatchet?
Hackett.
It's
It's
Hatchet.
Bernard Hackett.
You
Hackett.
know, I'm gonna have
Guess
all you
what?
PBC dudes on
No.
there, and I'm gonna be in, and
Well, we gotta be PBC dudes.
yeah.
Why you gotta
I
talk
don't know
about us
why you
like
got to
that?
be PBC dudes. You know why you PBC dudes? I don't know.
Because we're not top ranked dudes. We don't do Bob Arum. I'm sorry. We just don't do
I
that.
am not a top ranked dude. I'm a fair and honest Jamaican. Come on
Well,
now.
right now, we're Jeter dudes too. So hey, I'm just saying.
No, but Otis, we still go back and forth because you know what? No, but no, because you know what? People talk about the champions that everybody fought, and people always forget that he fought the White Wolf. I can't remember the cat's real name, but
Oh
this is Wilder,
he stretched
and
him.
I was
Mihojic.
yeah, and I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
telling
yeah.
you. I was telling you that dude was washed up when he fought him. He's just putting him on his resume to say,
Nah.
okay, well he fought a champion, and you were like, no, you being too hard on him. And
Yeah.
Mm.
I asked you, okay, well who's he fought? And then he beat he knocked out the other the Polish guy, and he said he killed him in the ring. The
Hey, hey,
Southpaw dude,
hey,
right?
bro, it's not that Troy. Otis. I try to explain to Troy, right? And Troy knows Troy box. I'm like, man, in the first, like their gloves don't move in that, in that dimension.
Ali's gloves did.
Who's what Ali? Muhammad?
Yes.
Well, it was his hands moving that fast. The gloves did not move. Well, like when you replay that fight, right? You see the glove literally like it's like a what a treasure trove on the damn dashboard. And how in the hell did that happen? We don't know. And like you said, um, you know, um, not only am I a cut man, right? I'm going to be a referee one day. So I'm going through
Lord,
the
no.
yes, indeed. So right now, right, I'm going through the Team USA whole referee thing. So anyway, long story short,
That's good.
this guy up here, Marshall, right? He he said, right, I was like, man, he fought, the Cuban guy, whatever, right? He fought him and gave him a rematch. Like that was dangerous for him,
Yeah, he didn't have to do that. He didn't
He
have to
didn't
be
have, but he did it, right? But listen. If we talk Otis, if we talk about Dillian, then he's gonna be like, oh, Dillian, like he's the greatest thing to slice
Nope,
bread.
I never said
Dillian,
that. I never said that.
he's
No.
Jamaican.
Well, go ahead and speak your piece,
Hey,
man.
we got.
See, I
No,
told you
I'm
I'm
messing with you.
objective.
I'm messing with you, man. No, real talk. You're not talking about Dillian,
because
right?
he's
I'm
a
messing with you.
yachty.
No, but Wilder, but Wilder, man, he's a little better than you give him credit for, Troy. He really is. End
I
of the
don't
day.
take nothing away from him. I just didn't like the whole situation with the Breland
Well,
situation
we
with
can
the
get Breland on here.
complaining and all of that. That's why I want to get the brother on here. And on top of it,
Okay.
Otis, right? I think I've said to you before that his real life story was a hell of a lot better than his character that he created. He was a single dad, a good old country boy. His real life story was a whole lot more
He's from
marketable
Mississippi,
than this
right?
foolishness that he got going on. He want to
Mississippi,
catch a body
Alabama.
in the ring and all that. Nah, man. No.
But listen, okay, so okay, all right, okay, like for example, we can get Breland because uh one of my mentor actually, Marvin McDowell, he helps with Crowder. I don't know if you know who Dominique Dimes Crowder is, but he's going to be fighting soon for the WBA um, belt or whatever. He has the WBA international belt right now. His name is Dominique Dimes Crowder, and Mark Breland is one of his people. And um, one of my guys in my gym that owns the gym, Marv McDowell, he actually comes Crowder actually comes through, and Marvin trains Crowder also. So Breland comes to the gym also. So I don't think it'd be a problem to get Breland on here, and we can just
Not
have
at
a
all. I got no problem with him.
we can definitely get that done. That's easy, you know. So that'd be good. We gonna have we're gonna have a good one that day.
No, but Otis, any day I get Wilder on him, I'll reach out to you because he gonna need the backup. So
Lord,
hey, like I
Lord,
said,
Lord,
I'm
Lord.
fair, but the whole thing, because I was a big fan of his when he was on the Newsweek. I don't even know if y'all remember this. He first came from the Olympics. He was on the Newsweek, the
Yeah.
front of the Newsweek in the sports section, holding his daughter. And I'm like, finally, no, we got a single dad. I hope they promote it like that. Next thing I turn around, this dude is bomb squad. I want to catch a body in the round. Like, what the hell? Man, what
then
the,
he
I'm
was,
like,
then he
what
was,
the?
then he was T'Challa.
Now,
You-
man, Wilder, you can't say nothing about that man. He
man,
went from
Wilder's a good dude, man.
being
I like Wilder.
a passed over basketball player to a bronze medalist to a world
Hmm
I seen
man.
his
That's
videos. He can't ball. He can't ball.
whatever he
Whether
thought he could.
whether he can ball or not, look, check this
Yeah,
out.
he
The
came
bottom
from
line is
nothing,
this,
is what
man.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
He went into
yeah,
the,
yeah.
the Olympic tournament with less than 20 fights as an amateur.
That was
And
impressive, actually.
that
That
was
was
very
actually impressive.
impressive. But you don't become a WBC champion, heavyweight champion by mistake, and then defend your title that many times and win. And he wasn't fighting tomato cans. He was actually
Yeah,
fighting.
Yeah, actually, he won.
and he lost to the linear champion. So
See, he lost to the best.
I
But
cannot
actually,
stand Fury, so please, I can't. I
okay,
mean,
well,
whether you can stand
yeah,
him or not, you can't cheat that he's the linear champion.
no, I
he's
can't
a
take
winning
I
champion.
can't take nothing away from. But the dude is a cunt, man. He had the only dude in history that had the opportunity to
To
become
cheat
undisputed heavyweight
and get a
champion
long count,
twice,
and
and he punked
yeah,
out both times. He's just
yeah,
a
he,
What do
cunt.
you think about this fight with the African UFC fighter?
I think nothing of it.
I know,
Nothing.
like, what is that about? Like,
yeah,
Money,
that's
money.
crazy. We
I
were
who
just
hope he
talking about
taps
watches
it.
it?
him
I
on the
don't care.
jaw and
Nobody
puts him to
cares about
sleep.
that fight.
I
We
hope
were
he knocks
talking.
Fury out. I mean, I don't mean to be
Me
rude. I don't wish the man harm,
Yeah,
but I hope
but
the African catches his chin or
I,
his body and
I'm
just
with them.
knocks him out.
Me and Troy was talking about it earlier. We were talking about
I
the
actually
heavyweight
like
card.
Fury, man. He's a good character. I like
Fury's
him.
funny, but he should be fighting. They should be fighting somebody else. Like
Yeah,
Top
he's
Rank got him
wasted.
fighting.
But you know what? He see. This is a thing. Me being, you know, in the boxing and understanding how these sanctioning bodies work as a manager now and everything.
Uh,
He does a good job of because you have to petition, right? Because you got to like sometimes 80 days to 120 days to fight the number one contender. He does a
right.
good job of saying, "Oh, I'm injured." You gotta have a box off or eliminator in or have somebody be the champion recess. Oh, I have this major marketing thing that's gonna be good for the sanctioning body to fight this UFC guy. So you guys got to put off my mandatories. You see what I'm saying? So what that's doing is adding longevity to his career.
It's bringing he's very lucrative for the
Yeah,
company. So
yeah,
you know
yeah.
that's the company's looking at him as he's an asset.
Exactly. That's why they're not shooting it down. Because if I would try to do that, they'd be like, no, you got a mandatory, you fighting so and so in
You could
May,
have had
or you
you
better
could have
give
had a
up the
chicken
belt.
pox.
Unless
You better
Charlo,
become Riddick Bowe and put the belts in the garbage.
And
Otherwise,
the guy was saying, right? Yeah,
no, Otis. Unless Charlo get to hold the belts for 2 years, you get to hold the belt for 2 years and don't fight nobody, right?
yeah,
nobody.
yeah.
That's
But you
How
crazy.
the
got.
hell do
But
you
what
get
I'm
away
saying, you
with
got
that,
to know
Otis?
all kind of behind the scenes tricks to do that stuff, man. Otherwise, you know
I
what I'm saying. If you don't know those
I
guidelines,
he got away with it because he was paying them damn section fees, and they were like, all right, we're good.
yeah, that's all they really care about.
Right? They care
I
about them
got a
section
question for
fees.
you before I shut it down. Where do those fees go? What are they for?
You know what? That came up. Somebody was. Oh yeah. Spence was asking that. You know what? They got to pay for the hotels, the flights, and everything for the guys to get to you. They got to pay those guys salaries. You know what I'm saying? Um, uh, it goes to a lot of different places. I'm sure the manufacturing of the belts, and then most sanctioning bodies have a outreach program with some kind of nonprofit or something. So
We got a nonprofit in Baltimore. They don't get nothing from the section and bodies, right, Ali?
maybe you should petition IBF. The
Absolutely
IBF
not.
would love to do that.
Okay,
Hey, Tank
we're gonna
can
set.
make that call to Daryl Peoples easy.
Oh, hey, that's the easy call. We can call Tank now and make
Yeah,
that happen. But we're talking about a nonprofit, which is up the street. Tank actually started at that particular gym. We're talking about Umar Boxing on North Avenue in Baltimore, where Tank actually started first.
yeah.
Uh, with Mob McDowell before he got uh uh
Before
with Cuddy. Now you gotta be calling him Cuddy. God darn it. Before he
with
got with
Calvin
Calvin.
Ford.
Yeah, man. You gotta be treading backwards, man. But hey,
Man, you
listen,
watch The
brother.
Wire too much.
Yeah, hey, The Wire is a good show, man. It's still a good show to this
Yeah, yeah,
day,
yeah.
right? I like like when the dude like you see for example, right? I went to Headbangers, right? And and
It's in DC.
in DC, right? I went to and then you see Bugs and everything. You see Bugs on Creed and all that, and so these and then like even Porter, he came to Headbangers to get what so his training camp, he moved his training camp to Headbangers, and so you see these guys on the wire, right? Like I said, like Michael P Jordan and other people and like the guy that just passed away not too long ago. What was his name? I'm sorry, was it scar on his face? He made a lot of good things happen.
Oh, the dude that
And
played Omar, right?
Michael, yeah,
Omar,
yeah, his name was
Yeah,
Michael too.
Mike, yeah,
yeah.
he passed
R.I.P. for
away.
him too.
Yeah, and
Great actor.
I had a homeboy that was on there. He was on a couple episodes. He played a street cop. Shout out to my brother Lee Cox. Uh, he played a street cop on there, and it's what the wire, man. It was very it was real, but it was real to the point where it was though it was real, but it was like Baltimore's worse than what they even showed, and people can't really grasp that aspect. Like, damn, it's like worse than that. Like, yeah, it's worse than that, and like that's the everyday. But it's just what it is. When you got a city that's only like 18 miles, from
Yeah, yeah,
east
yeah.
to west, like it's really cramped, man. And what we do is we try to save the kids one at a time, and our motto is no hooks before books, and we have a nonprofit, and we also have a every Wednesday rain or shine 12 noon at 1217 West North Avenue. Have a we give away food and vegetables, and because anywhere you look in Baltimore City, it's dry. There's nowhere to grow any kind of fruits
It's a
or
food
vegetables.
desert.
It's a desert for fruit and vegetables. Baltimore,
Yeah,
literally.
yeah.
So
It the
every Wednesday,
design of the city is weird too because like if you go from the waterfront like out to the west and then back to the north and the east, it's kind of it's weird.
It's a
right?
A lot of
bowl.
trees.
It's
What
shaped like a bowl, pretty
what
much.
you what
Yeah,
this
yeah,
what well Baltimore, it's just it's a historical fact because you got to remember like the Star Spangled Banner and all that kind of stuff when they were actually making that happen and they were fighting on Federal Hill, they had underground tunnels underneath the city. That's why Baltimore City has a subway system that only has one line. It doesn't have like a B line or C line that stretches like east, west, south. It's just one line that goes in one direction, and that's it. And the reason why is that because they have so many underground tunnels. It's like an underground city in Baltimore that people don't even know about. The historical
yeah.
fact. That's
That's
why
those
the pot.
masons, man.
Hey man, hey, that's what it is, man. Hey, can't hate on the Mason, brother. But it is what it is, bro. This has been a very insightful and enjoying 2.5 hours. And yeah, man, Otis, man, definitely, both of us would love for you to come back. I'm personally glad you took the invitation, and I'm one of the three kings, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate what you did for the sport of boxing, and also the show, the reality show. It actually spent off a lot of other things that made made other people a lot of money and great, but you guys were actually one of the first to actually do it. So I gotta salute you and give you flowers, man, because you did it on TV reality, and then you did it in real life. So your reality was the reality. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so you
Yeah.
know, and you can fight. So
Thank you,
you
brother.
know, oh, you're very welcome, bro. Oh no, hey, trust me, you're welcome. And even this guy up here to my left, Marshall, he can fight too. And you know, he's just not a Jamaican that talks a lot of crap, man. That guy can go. He fought a Ford Bronco. Trust me. Age
Man, stop.
OJ Simpson. No, he really fought a Ford Bronco and won. Like it's another story. He'll tell you about it. But I just wanted to say, hey man, on this show here, man, we talk about boxing. Like I say, Marshall, and he's not offended. Why? Because we're brothers, and it's not about. I'm joking. I'm not. It's not. It's all in good fun, and while I be all like snooty and stuck up all the time, and have fun, live life because it's a very short journey. This is a short marathon. So life is not guaranteed. Life to me, the letters mean live and fulfill everything. And if you live and fulfill everything, every day will be a new start because you never know that tomorrow may be today because
Mm.
tomorrow may not ever come. So your tomorrow might be today, and your yesterday might be your tomorrow because yesterday will never come because your today was your yesterday and your tomorrow will be your today. Meaning you live for the moment and worry about what's going on in front of you. And tomorrow you worry about that when God wakes you up. So that's what it's about, bro. And I appreciate you. Take us out, Troy.
All right, all right. Well, thank you, everybody, for showing up. Brother Otis, I want to thank you for showing up as well. I mean, I don't know what I'm gonna play tonight, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure out a good show. I did not expect to stay on for 2.5 hours, man. But the conversation was so good, I just let it be.
Yeah, man,
Let
it
it
was
be.
great.
And
Good
let it do
show.
itself, you know. But damn, this phone is
So,
hot. But
yo,
good
some
show,
damn hot phone.
good competition, good conversation. Like I tell
Right.
people all the time,
Yeah,
you never
man.
know who's gonna show up on here. You never do. So you don't want to hear about it. You want to be about it.
That's
And
right.
always check out the Troy Graham Experience with the Tree Kings, aka the the $1 billion podcast, like I like to call it, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So just God bless, man. I don't even have a song in my head today to take us out with, man.
Hey,
I
man.
really
Hey,
don't.
guess what? It's the 50th year for hip hop, but let's go somewhere else and
Hmm.
let's go to the brother uh that we all know as the Reverend Al Green, and if we
Okay.
all stay together and pray together, we can see a better tomorrow. The children are the future, and today you got to let them know that they are tomorrow because we will be yesterday. Take us out,
Okay,
Troy.
let me see if I can find that for you, good brother. Let me see if I can find that, right? I'm working on it. I'm working on that right now. Mr. Al Green, aka Grits to the Chest. But we ain't gonna talk
That's
about
it.
that.
BX
All right.
always.
All right, you hear it. You hear it, right?
I hear, bro. It's coming.
Here we go. Y'all, let's stay together, y'all. Bless up one and all.
Do something nice for somebody you don't know. Peace.
It's all right with me. 'Cause you make me feel so great. I want to spend my life with you. They say thing, baby, since we've been together, loving you forever is what I need. Let me be the one you come to. I'll never be untrue. Oh, baby. right, bless up one and all. You heard the lyrics. Let's stay together. That's our love song to the sport of boxing. Let's stay together, because even though we make this look easy, it ain't always easy to come up here and do this, people. I mean, it's not always easy to come do this when you got a flow and you got a camaraderie. You just got to build on that and let the good Lord guide you as to where you're gonna go. So bless up one and all and stay positive. And remember, always positive, purposeful positivity pushes past all problems. And on that note, Selah. Bless up.